2-minute drill. Highlight reel, let's review. What's the deal, okay? Watching footage going out of control. Buckle up, we got an hour to go, so let's go. That's straight heat. Ain't no chillin' around here. Back to back, Nat Chimps, how we feelin' around here? Got my whole squad in the building around here. If my name ain't on it, then I really don't care. Come on. 3-point stance, we advance. Ball in my hands, I don't take no chance. Touchdown dance, that's my jam. No hot takes, this is nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. Nothing but rants. On the beat, hey. Yeah.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to MBR, or as we like to call it around here, Nothing But Rants, the show where I find topics that I'm oddly passionate about and I pontificate upon them. These are not hot takes, but rather takes that I'm hot about. What's up? You really like that?
Let's shut up and grind some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome in to the Film Guy Network on a fabulous Monday evening. We have an absolutely loaded show for you guys. I hope everyone had a very happy belated Father's Day. I know I did. I enjoyed some time on the lake. Jay Will celebrating his first Father's Day as a father. Hope all you guys had a good one. Hope no one touched the remote. You know what I mean? Hope you just got your day, if at all. I know that can be selfish sometimes, but sometimes as a father, when people ask me what I want for whether it be, birthday or Christmas or Father's Day, I'm like, it's like 2 hours of nothing. Just let me do nothing. That would be awesome. But no, hope you got to do some nothing. Hope you got to celebrate with your family, all that good stuff out there. We got a great one for you guys tonight. Things you don't miss about the quote, college football we grew up in. Hear a lot about that nowadays. Like, this ain't the college football that I fell in love with. A lot of revisionist history about what college football was and felt like, 10, 15, 20 years ago. We're going to talk about things that we like nowadays that didn't happen back then, maybe, or some things that we didn't like about old school college football. We got some sleepers tonight, Kirby.
Oh yeah.
We got some logs to cut. We got some snoozers, some folks and some topics in college football that we're not talking enough about. Some new coaches. Some new coaches' first years at their football homes. We're going to rank those and put them in tiers. We got 4 tiers to put those football coaches in. Oh, it's prime time. Feinbaum says season 2, Kirby.
Oh, yes.
It is late June, and that boy Paul Feinbaum on a heater of all heaters. I'm honestly worried about the man. I'm worried that he might be dumping the clip a little early. We're going to talk about that tonight. And maybe a recruiting check-in. We might get
possibly.
To it. I don't know.
We'll see.
Possibly. We'll see.
It's
loaded. I mean, it's slap loaded. Make sure you're liking. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're telling a friend about this place. If you haven't already, please do that. All right? If you're in the chat right now, go ahead and fire it off. The best way to put us in front of new people tonight is to make sure you are actively engaged in that chat and dang sure making sure you're hitting that thumbs up button and hanging out with us. Kirby, it was a relatively shockingly slow news weekend, even for, late June. I mean, there was nothing really. I guess that's a good thing, especially if you're a Texas Tech fan.
Yeah, typically this time of year, if there's any news out or anything, it's mostly scandals or something big happening.
Or injury.
Yeah, stuff you don't
something you don't want to play with right about now. Ain't no good news happening in late June normally. So it's probably a good thing that nobody was talked about this weekend. That's awesome. So where should we start, Kirby?
That's a great question. Honestly, let's talk about Paul Feinbaum.
I think we should, because here's the deal. I see on the show notes today, Feinbaum says, and I said, well, my boy done cooked something. What did Paul Feinbaum say today? So I Google, what did Paul Feinbaum say? And guess what, Kirby? I get 4 bang-up hits in the last 24 hours in the top of Google News. 4 of them. The categories are, Paul Feinbaum names an SEC team that won't win 7 games.
Ooh.
Is that what Paul Feinbaum said today?
He said it, but not for me.
All right. Well, Paul Feinbaum also said he questions the quote-unquote new Bama standard. Is that what Paul Feinbaum said today?
Not to me.
Well, Paul Feinbaum also said that a college football contender, he just don't care about it all. Is that what Paul Feinbaum said today?
Not to me. No.
Well, Paul Feinbaum also said that pressure is mounting on an SEC head coach.
Yes,
that's what Paul Feinbaum said
to me.
Paul, it's late June, Bubba. Slow down. You're not. I mean, maybe you have infinite ammo, but most of us have to, taper the takes until early. That's all in the last 24 hours. Paul's on a heater. How did he get off all those takes on a Sunday?
And you know what? I think I figured what it out how he does this. Maybe we'll pull back the curtain a little bit behind Mr. Paul Feinbaum says. Obviously, Paul Feinbaum has the Paul Feinbaum Show. So
Yes.
when you're a writer for one of these sites and you got nothing, absolutely nothing to write about,
You got 4 hours a day from Paul.
you sit there and you watch the Paul Feinbaum Show until he says something about your team. You go, oh, I know what I'm going to write about today. So this just so happens to be what Paul gave this particular writer. Paul Feinbaum says Lane Kiffin is under way more pressure at LSU. Quote, at Ole Miss, he built the program back. He was beloved. He didn't really have to do anything but have a good program. That's not the case where he is now. He has a little bit of breathing room this season. That is, unless the bottom falls out, and then he has none. LSU fans are great fans in my opinion, but they tolerate nothing but championships. So what Paul Feinbaum is essentially saying is that, yeah, Lane Kiffin had it kind of cushy at Ole Miss because if you go 9-3, 10-2, pop an 11-1 every now and then, they're going to love you. At LSU, if you're not consistently winning national titles, you might have to go.
Kirby, it's all good. Lane Kiffin's already promised a national title.
Oh, I saw that.
Lane Kiffin has promised that he is going to win a national title. Quote, I don't know how fast it's going to happen, but we're going to win a national championship. We are going to have the teams and the rosters back to the way they were playing when they were great. I don't know how fast. It might not be today, but it's going to happen. Lane Kiffin, national champion, LSU Tigers.
And by the way, can we stop crucifying head coaches when they come to the mic and say we're going to win a national title? Like the entire reason that you've been hired by this team
is to win a national
title. To come out and be like, yeah, we might go 9-3 every year. We're gonna have a couple you're getting fired immediately. You gotta come out and swing high.
We might be average.
Yeah, no head coach has ever been hired by a big name program and gone, yeah, we don't really want to compete for titles around here or guarantee those. So we're just gonna see how things go. Immediately that guy's getting fired if that's the case.
Why are you telling Jay Will to go watch Old Dogs?
Oh, dude.
Is this conversation off camera?
This was an off-camera conversation.
I've never seen Old Dogs.
It's a very underrated Disney movie.
Okay.
It's got Robin Williams and John
Disney
Travolta.
movie?
Yeah.
Huh.
I'm telling you, it's a good movie.
I was expecting like a Reservoir Dogs type vibe
No,
from Old Dogs.
It's a Disney movie with
Is this animated?
Nope.
Okay.
John Travolta and Robin Williams.
I didn't know back in the 90s that Disney did anything but animated movies.
This is mid-2000s, actually.
Huh.
It's it went very under the radar. Did not get good reviews.
Robin Williams cooking?
He did.
Okay.
It's a good movie.
Is he doing the thing though?
No, he's not.
Okay.
That's what makes it good. He's like an actor in this one. He's not doing the genie type bit.
Yeah.
He plays a character.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. It's a good movie.
He's not Mrs. Doubtfire in the whole thing.
No.
Hello.
No. It's very well played.
All right. Paul, you're right. By the way, total right take by Paul on this pressure at LSU. This has never happened. We talked about this on our network already this offseason. It's just hey, when's the last time Lane Kiffin had, hey, bud, you better win a national title while you're here expectations? You got to go all the way back to the early 10s at USC, and it didn't exactly go all that well. I don't think Tennessee fans demanded that he win a national title.
He wasn't there long enough.
I know he was not. But they definitely liked what they were seeing enough to feel heartbreak when he left. There's no doubt about that. But I don't think he's felt this pressure in
ever
17 years.
Well, here's the thing that I would put more pressure on. And let's just say we get 5 years down the road and it doesn't work out with LSU. The Lane Kiffin experience sours. They don't win a national title. He goes on. What school is claiming Lane Kiffin? What program? What college what team is gonna claim Lane Kiffin?
FAU?
Great. What does that do?
Wait, hold on. Never won a conference title at FAU.
That's what I'm saying. So, not only are you at risk of...
They probably claim Mario.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, not only are you at risk of things not working out, you have higher pressure and the margins are thinner than ever, you're at risk of your legacy being kind of trashed in general because we all know what you did to Ole Miss to get this job. If you don't win everything or if you don't meet the expectations that have been set by your program, by you, your legacy is going to take a massive hit if it already hasn't. So there's added pressure to that. So you're right.
Correction. It was FIU for Mario.
FAU.
Yes. AI, football brain, be getting me. But yeah, it happens sometimes. Do you want to guess the college football contender that Paul Feinbaum doesn't give a damn about?
Is it in the SEC?
No. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, come on, dude. It's
That's
Paul
true.
Feinbaum. What did you expect
That's fair. Is it Texas Tech?
It is indeed. Ding, ding, ding. Texas Tech.
Nice.
I mean, obviously, he questions the new Bama standard. It's not Saban, so you got to. I don't know. I didn't read the SEC team that said he didn't win 7 games. I'll Google it right quick. What team do you think it is?
I'm going to go with – it's got to be like a notable team that would be surprising to say. I'm going to say Tennessee, which I don't think that's true, but I think Paul Feinbaum might try to give a hot take and say Tennessee's not winning 7 games this year because they don't have a super easy schedule.
I lost – oh, hold on. Where's it at? Got to go to more news. I'll find it.
I believe in you. But no, I mean, this is kind of the recipe for getting content out of a writer at this point of the year when recruiting's kind of hitting a lull. Like you said, there's no news because there's not really a scandal or a big injury breaking. So Paul Feinbaum is kind of the stream that you drink from.
I mean, that's a layup, Paul.
Was it Arkansas?
No, it was Mississippi State. That's a layup.
When's the last time Mississippi State won more than 6 games?
That's a layup, Paul. All right, so you know what? I mean, we're still in midsummer season form. I take my previous statements back about you potentially peaking in early or late, summertime. We don't want to be peaking right about now. We got to start peaking in August. I think Paul's saving his best.
Got to be.
I mean, there's a scorching hot Arch Manning take coming out.
I mean, he's a pro. He knows what he's doing.
He's a pro's pro. I mean, he's a GOAT. All right. That's what Paul Feinbaum says. You know what a lot of people say in the college football hemisphere? We hear a lot about, quote, this isn't the college football I grew up with.
Oh, the good old days.
Yeah, this isn't the college football that I fell in love with. I hear a lot of that nowadays. And I you know what? I'm with you guys. I think we share similar sentiments on this platform, especially with all the changing of guard it feels like there is in college football, whether it be college football playoff or, expansion, conference realignment, all the NIL, transfer portal, all the stuff, right? We share those sentiments. However, I do think there were some things we share. What was the revisionist history angle about old school college football? I got a top 5 things that were problems with the old college football. Do you want this 1 to 5 or 5 to 1?
Are you J willing me?
Yeah.
Let's go 5 to 1.
All right, I'll give it to you 5 to 1.
Nice.
Number 5, lack of parity. Back in the day, there was really like a group of 5 to 7 or 8 schools that we felt like actually had the abilities to go win national titles.
Yep.
And I think it's good. The Indiana story is good for college football. I think it's good that more than 8 programs feel hope. It's certainly good for this platform. As we continue to grow, as we continue to reach new audiences, new fan bases, I need them to be invigorated. I need them to feel like there's a chance. I need them to feel like there was a hope. And I don't think in the old school college football we had parity. I don't think there was an unpredictableness about the game that was college football in the early aughts and 10s.
That's fair. I mean, definitely the ability to win a national title is widening. Kurt Cignetti, what he's done at Indiana kind of shows you that in this era of NIL and transfer portal, you can build a championship roster, whereas back in the day it was kind of like, hey, you might get one shot to assemble a really good roster, and that's the stars aligning on a bunch of recruits. But other than that, the haves are the haves in this sport, and the have-nots kind of just go off to the side.
Now, you told me this was wrong, but I'm leaving it on the list. And maybe I wasn't paying enough attention back in the day, but I don't feel like the big brands clashed in regular seasons as frequently as they do now, or as frequently, period, because we didn't have a 12-team playoff. I did not feel the big brands clashed as frequently as they do nowadays. Because we have more opportunities to do so, whether it be out-of-conference scheduling, whether it be because of Texas and Oklahoma coming over the SEC, Oregon and the likes, and USC going to the Big Ten. I feel like nowadays the quote-unquote blue bloods are banging heads far more often in far more pivotal matchups than we had in the earlier days.
Yeah, I would disagree with this one. There was a good bit of non-conference matchups taking place, especially in the regular season. You had a lot of these. Like, I remember Penn State and Alabama did a home-and-home series once. Texas and Ohio State played a few times.
Auburn and Penn State did it.
Auburn and Penn State did it. Michigan and Notre Dame, although that's kind of like a blue blood rivalry. That's still stuff like that. Any team Notre Dame plays is a non-conference matchup. But I think that still happens. And honestly, like, with all of the cancelings of home and homes and things like that, I would say you're getting less of that nowadays.
You are right in the sense that everybody's ducking non-cons now, but it's because of what there is now in conference play. due to 9 games in the SEC and the Big Ten, and because we know we probably going to face these teams in the playoff.
Right.
So those opportunities, I don't think they obviously weren't around in the previous iterations of college football. Number 3, and I think this is pivotal. This is very selfish of me to put this on the list. Though I did love Dr. Lou's segment with Mark May, and though I did grow up watching College Game Day every single Saturday, in the old school college football that we all love so much, the opinions and analysis that we heard came from like 6 heads. And they all work for ESPN, and they all work for one spot, and they controlled the narrative of the sport entirely. And now everybody's fleeing from those 4-letter networks. Everybody's running to YouTube. Everybody's running to their favorite content creator. Everybody's hearing a variety of opinions and a variety of voices at a far higher rate than we ever did. And I think that's very, very good for the growth of the sport and the education of fans especially, and obviously storytelling. I think that's great for fans.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you talk about some of the big conglomerates, like those conglomerates are going to talk about what brings in revenue for them, whereas maybe I'm a Indiana fan or a Mississippi State fan, and I just really love my team, and I want to start up a YouTube show, and I can create a show where I'm talking about strictly things on my team, and I can create a community around that. It's a great opportunity for not just to have a narrative shift, but to discuss things amongst your fellow fans.
Number 2, and this is the way I feel about the BCS era. Yes, there were years where the team that won the national title was without a doubt the best team in college football. But I felt like there was far too many instances from when I began watching college football until the college football playoff was implemented, where the team that held the trophy at the end, I questioned whether or not they were truly the best football team. And now, as we get into a larger playoff format, yes, it might be who's the hottest team, but I do think we've gotten the best team to win the national title the last 2 years. And I'm okay. I have made peace with the Michigan loss for Ohio State, because in my heart of heart, Ohio State was the best football team in 2024. And in my heart of heart, it was no doubt Indiana was the best football team in 2025. And I think without a doubt, whoever wins this year's national championship will be the best team in my mind. Now, that's how I feel. I don't know how other people feel, but that's how I feel about the 12-team format, giving me solitude in knowing that that's the best team for sure. They had to go through the gauntlet. And I don't know if we had that in years prior. In years prior, you might have had 12 regular season games that were, it was an iffy schedule. Maybe you had the 35th ranked strength of schedule, all right? And then you had to play one good game in the national title, and then you won. And then you got the crystal ball.
Yeah.
I don't know that level of skepticism about the guy holding the trophy or the team holding the trophy at the end. I personally will not have that moving forward. I don't think.
Yeah, I think there's certainly aspects of that that are both true, where in the 2-team system, you kind of wondered, hey, maybe this 3rd team or maybe this number 4 team that lost in the last week of the regular season, maybe they were the best team. And obviously, when you have such a bloated playoff system that requires you to go through a run of tough games, it does kind of imply that maybe this team was the best. I think it still plays to this team went on the best run as opposed to where they were the best team. I think Indiana was the best team throughout the season. I don't know if I could say the same about Ohio State in 2024, but that's a completely different argument. I will say you are right in the sense that a lot of times in the BCS era, you saw 1 and 2 and you thought, maybe number 3 was a better team. Like, no one thought Notre Dame was one of the top 2 teams in 2012. Obviously, there's the 2011 debacle where Alabama loses to LSU and then somehow still finds their way in the SEC championship or in the national championship afterwards. Stuff like that, where the BCS system was not perfect by any means. So you're right. There are some flaws from the BCS.
Number 1, my favorite player being suspended for smoking weed. or signing autographs or doing something that nowadays we look at and we're like, come on, dog.
The suspension of blank is serving a 4-game suspension
for violation of team rules.
Violation of NCAA rules. There's an investigation because they sold some jerseys or memorabilia. That doesn't happen anymore. Like Johnny Manziel got popped with this, Todd Gurley, obviously. Like a lot of guys.
AJ Green.
Yeah, a lot of players of that era were just forced to sit out because they were doing things that are.
Isaiah Crowell, maybe?
Yeah, I think he was arrested, though.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Stuff like that. But either way, like, they were punished for, like, hey, what are we doing here?
Yeah, like nowadays we look back and we're like, Okay.
It's completely legal now. So,
Yeah.
those are definitely some aspects that weren't great about the 2000s. I think another thing is that people often forget you couldn't watch every game. If Alabama's playing Charleston Southern on Saturday, you might be listening to that game on the radio, buddy, because the TV networks just weren't what they were. And by the way, if you didn't have a TV, you weren't watching the game. How many times nowadays can you be on the road or somewhere else or away from your house and still watch a college football game?
This is such a great point. Handheld ability to watch games.
Yes, that was not around in
Oh my
2006.
gosh.
Like if you did not have access to a TV with cable, you weren't watching your game. So that's something that I do not miss from that era.
Dude, such a great point. I can't tell you how many times my dad was sitting over there during a Saturday rec league football game with that little damn battery-packed television that came in like barely colors, and you had to get the antenna just right to make sure it wasn't fuzzy. And even then, it was crappy technology. I mean, what a great point.
Yeah, that's definitely something.
All that being said, the PSP was ahead of its time, and still nothing's been better. I need a PSP in my hand right now today.
This is also true. I agree with that.
Go ahead.
Injuries were way harder to recover from. If your favorite player tore their ACL 20 years ago, it was like he's never going to be the same guy.
Dude.
Or if he sprained an ankle, like he's done for the season.
We're weight-bearing Achilles tendon tears now within like 4 weeks of surgery.
Yeah.
Used to, that was 18 months. Hell, he might not come back ever.
Yeah.
Achilles tendon tears were like death sentences for careers.
So modern medicine has definitely made recovery a lot better and it expedited it greatly. Another thing that I think is super underrated that we don't talk about, say you watch an incredible play, say you watch an incredible game, or there's an incredible moment that you would like to relive or rewatch, you got to hope and pray and wait for that segment to be done on ESPN. There are a lot. Now, I know DVRs were a thing, but nowadays, if a
no clip farming.
Correct.
Yeah.
Nowadays, if a college football game happens and it's a good game and I want to rewatch the highlights, so they're uploaded on YouTube within the next 30 minutes.
Solid
like, you don't have to wait that long. You don't have to wait the next morning for ESPN to play them. Another thing that just was not great about the early 2000s, there's no college football Twitter back then. College football Twitter and the memes that come from it is one of the greatest things that has happened to this sport. It's created some toxicity. There's no denying that. But at the same point, there's nothing better than when your team beats a rival and you run to Twitter to see all the memes about it, or when your team you hate loses and there's memes about that. It's fantastic. And then the final one I have is, I think the offensive schemes have gotten way more intricate and made the game a bit more entertaining to watch.
Yeah. I mean, as much as I love physical downhill, running the ball football, I personnel, 12 personnel, or 21 out of I, I'm good.
Right. And that's
I'm good. 2nd and 10, lining up out of the I, making sure we get into 3rd and 6. I'm good on that. I'm good on all that. I think the addition of analytics have caused a lot of change in play call too. We talked a lot about this in previous episodes. But, yeah, man. Hey, I just want to commend you on making the right production decision on that list of making it 5-1. So really, really good job by you.
I appreciate that.
It's often missed on this network, to be honest with you.
Wow.
Like people making bad decisions on how we should do those. So good call on your end.
Well, I don't know if we have to allude to someone not doing a good job to compliment us. We don't have to break anyone down.
You're right. I should have just patted you on the back, not
man.
slap someone else on the neck.
It's all right.
You're right. It's a good job on you. Any other the things that revisionist history?
This is a personal one, and this is solely because I grew up in this era. As someone who played Little League football in the early 2000s and in the early 2010s, it sucked being like, ooh, our game's at noon, but the Dawgs kick off at 1. I'm going to have to miss the first 2 quarters of that. Not being able to watch the games you wanted to watch because you had a game yourself, that wasn't fun. I'm not going to miss that. But again, that's a personal thing. If you didn't play football in the Little League or you didn't, grow up during that era, not something you had to contend with. But that is a personal contention for me.
I do have to say, there was something majestic about watching a grown man flip channels at just the right time on commercial breaks. Did you have a pop like this?
Oh, yes.
Because my dad was freaking dialed. I'm talking about just had it. Like he just, here comes a punt. Boom, right over to 209. Here comes Oklahoma State, Kansas. They're in a damn sweater. And then, that one's obviously going to commercial. Now I know this one's back. It's a more important game. And then, boom, just like never really watching commercials, even though commercials were galore.
It's
You know
a
what I mean?
lot. It's a lost
It's
science.
a unique skill.
Yeah.
And yes, a very lost science.
Yeah, Multiview has killed this completely. It's just like, oh, this screen's going to be on commercial now. I'll just look at the other one. Back in the day when you had to be like, all right, time to switch. You're right. It is a lost science that I think many people don't appreciate anymore.
Yeah, like people don't channel surf no more.
No.
That's not a thing. You know, you don't even watch. Like people used to watch the guide channel. They would put the channel that showed you all the channels. I'm talking to a 15-year-old watching this right now that's like, what is he talking about?
Yeah, they don't,
You know?
they don't understand
They have no idea.
how good they have it nowadays.
Yeah. But no, that's a missed skill set. Channel surfing. Just boom, 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 boom. Dialed. Sleepers, Kirby.
Let's bring them on.
We got some sleepers. All right, now this segment is obvious. It speaks for itself. These are topics, people, places, or teams that are not being talked enough about right about now, like this one right here. I'm gonna talk to a very niche audience right about now, but they are a passionate bunch. I don't think enough people are talking about Calandria out there at Nebraska, Kirby. I don't think enough people are talking about it.
In what way?
In the sense that I don't think Calandria is better than Dylan Raiola, but I do think Calandria will be better for Nebraska than Raiola was. This is the inverse of my take on Pavia and Jared Curtis up at Vanderbilt. All right, Pavia was this college football unique talent. All right, that, hey, we might be talent deficient in all these areas, but we have a college football offense that this guy is great at. He's an elite playmaker. Man, we're going to live in 3rd and 2 today because we got Diego Pavia. That's not going to be the case with Jared Curtis. Jared Curtis is a pro-style elite talent. He's a far better talent than Diego Pavia. But in college, guys who do work from the pocket, guys who are going to be elite or very good, potentially good, professional prospects, those guys need a lot of help on college levels. Because, hey, if the right tackle's like just absolutely abhorrent, if the left guard can't block a soul, then the quarterback better be a good athlete. The quarterback better be able to make somebody miss, better be able to take off and run, better be able to be involved in the run game, right? That's what Calandria can do for this Nebraska offense. And no, I'm not saying he's better than Dylan Raiola. I'm saying he's better in college than Dylan Raiola is going to be, especially if we don't have enough around him. And I don't think for the 2 years that Dylan Raiola was a starter at Nebraska, I don't think they had good enough stuff around him. When I watched him, I was fairly impressed by the time that he played on, right? The professional approach that he took to the quarterback position, the accuracy of the football, the timing of the offense, the control of the offense. The problem was, he was going to throw for 200 yards today because they didn't have jack nothing around him. Well, Calandria might throw for 200 yards because they have jack nothing around him, but he might also break a 70-yard run. And that's going to be the difference for an offense that needs some of that life.
Yeah, no, I think it's an underrated part that we don't really discuss in a game of like styles matter more than anything. Like certain quarterbacks match better for certain teams, and that's not an indictment on Dylan Raiola. He was a really good prospect. He's a really good quarterback. We both think so, but you need someone like Calandria to kind of excel that offense because there's just not enough around it. So you're right. I think that he will be a better quarterback for Nebraska in the long run, or at least this season, which is funny because
I think Jared Curtis is going to be really, really good. I don't think they're going to be good this year. I think they got to get a lot more stuff around him. Whereas when we're a great athlete, we can just twitch our way out of problems. That works in college. That will never work on Sundays. You know what I mean? So it's interesting how like college football can still get by with dual threat run first quarterbacks. Hey, first read's not open. Let's take off and make plays. We can still be the best player and best athlete on the field at times. And I think that's going to be a difference for them. What are we sleeping on, Kirby?
So this one's going to get kind of told, it's irrelevant, it doesn't matter. And I know that this has lost a lot of its meaning over the years, and especially with expansion. But I don't think we are talking enough about how open the SEC is this year, how wide open it is. And I know the SEC championship's meaningless. It has no meaning, all that. That's probably what an Alabama or a Georgia fan would say because they've been playing in the game 9 out of the last 10 instances of it. But tell an Oklahoma fan, hey, you might have a chance to win the SEC this year. Or tell Texas or a Texas A&M fan. Texas A&M was excited to go to Atlanta last year before has about 5 or 6 teams that very well could be competing for the title in Atlanta. And again, let me reiterate, I know it won't mean much in the long run, but there's a lot of programs out there that would very happily take home an SEC title this season and say that's a successful year for us.
I think it's pretty open in the Big Ten too.
Yeah.
I mean, Oregon feels pretty well-rounded.
Right.
Indiana's obviously worth noting,
Mm-hmm.
whether or not they've rebanded enough. Ohio State, obviously. But outside, I mean, it's kind of those three. I don't think there's anybody that's, ahead of the others. I think it's going to be a pretty scattered prediction pool this year. I think more so than ever before. I think you're going to see some off-the-wall type of predictions. I think you're going to see some off-the-wall results at the end of the year. It goes back to that parity discussion we had a little bit earlier. Now, I do not think something's wrong with the audio, apparently. Apparently it glitched for a second. I think that's a YouTube thing.
That's a YouTube thing. I'll tell chat.
I think we're good over here. I checked mics. I think we're good on everything.
Yeah,
over
I got
here.
bars on my side.
All right. So, is Vegas sleeping on Clemson? Like, I don't
what's their
think
total?
Clemson's what?
What's their total at?
7.5.
Huh.
Like, I don't think Clemson's a national title contender. I that's way out there. Okay. I think everyone's in that mix, feeling that way about them as well. But 7.5 wins. I think I can get to 9 on this slate. Okay. Georgia Southern, North Carolina, Charleston Southern, Virginia Tech year 1, James Franklin. You going to give me that one?
It could be hairy.
All right, let's leave that in the hairy discussion. At Florida State, at Syracuse, Georgia Tech, at Duke, South Carolina.
Yeah, that's a very 9-winnable schedule.
I gave them losses at LSU, at Cal, because it's like a tough road, and Sagapatule is really good, and then Miami. I gave them those 3 losses. And if we want to haggle about another one, I still make my bet in the over.
Yeah.
I think 8-4 is very doable with this schedule. It should be done. And going 7-5 would be a major disappointment after looking at it. And I talked about them as like being a quote-unquote down year. The roster is down, don't get me wrong. But still, I mean, that's very manageable. It's not what I felt like last year's schedule was a little harder.
Yeah, it ended up being a little bit harder than I think they anticipated. But I also think that team was way worse than anyone. Like, that loss to Syracuse midseason was ugly.
Yeah.
Like, it got pretty ugly at
Yeah.
Clemson for a while. So,
I mean, the Tech loss spiraled it.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I think 7.5 wins is kind of fair. The thing is, like, 8.5 wins would be almost too much.
Yeah.
Like saying
you have to bet 9 and 3.
Yeah,
That is a lot.
So
You're right.
Maybe
It's a good line.
It's a good line.
Yeah.
I don't think Vegas is underrating
Okay.
it. I think it's
Okay.
properly rated.
Who are we sleeping on?
We're sleeping on Willie Fritz as a head coach, man.
Yeah, we are.
Everything that he has touched so far
Talk Cougar
has
to me.
turned to gold. He inherited a 4-8 team in 2024. They went 9-3 last year in his second year. Beat LSU in the bowl game. I know bowl games don't matter and all that thing. They just signed the nation's #1 quarterback in Keyshawn Henderson. They are on the up and up, and I don't think people are not talking enough about the job Willie Fritz is doing and the Houston program as a whole. Like, if you had to pick one team to win the Big 12 that's not named Texas Tech right now, I think it is Houston, and that being the case for a program that joined that conference, 2-3 seasons ago, major accomplishment for Willie Fritz.
Let's go tandem Cougars. I think people are sleeping on BYU too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, year 2 in Bear Bachmeier's run. Did you know that Bear Bachmeier has a brother? Any
Really?
guesses on Bear Bachmeier's brother's name?
Is it animal related?
You bet.
Oh, no. Lion?
Tiger Bachmeier. They got a bear and a tiger.
Are these government
Lion,
names?
tigers, and bears, oh my.
Like, these are government
These
names?
are government names, handed down on the birth certificate. Tiger Bachmeier. He's a slot receiver, also a punt and kick returner.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
You already know. Yeah, I think people are sleeping on BYU. Year 2 of Bear Bachmeier looked really, really good last year. I think we're going to take leaps in our sophomore year. LJ Martin returning at the running back position. Very old offense. I told Kirby today, 6 of their 11 starters on the offensive side of the football, projected starters, are redshirt juniors or older. And if you're a redshirt junior at BYU and you didn't transfer in there, that means you're a redshirt junior, most likely, because you're doing the Rider Lions thing. Often sabbatical for a year and a half. So, yeah, these guys are old. They're experienced. They were a good 11-1 football team last year. I think Kalani Sitake is the best coach in the Big 12. I would put Willie Fritz in that discussion as well. I think a lot of people don't realize that Kalani Sitake's won 10 games, I think 4 out of the last 5 years.
Yeah, they've been
at
a
BYU.
very consistent
Now,
program.
majority of that was during an independent schedule run where, they're playing Notre Dame's schedule and winning 10 games in that schedule, even if you're BYU, is relatively manageable. And it wasn't even Notre Dame's caliber of a non-con or a independent schedule. So shouldn't take that many shots at Notre Dame there. They historically have played good schedules. Not so much moving forward. I think their schedule in conference is extremely manageable. They dodged Texas Tech. Their toughest game inside the Big 12 is at Utah, and it's year one of that football coach out there. It's a good shake for BYU. I don't think people are paying enough attention.
That's fair. There's a lot of talk about who the best running back in the SEC is, and you hear names like Jaden Baugh, Keywan Lacey, Ahmad Hardy. Sometimes Nate Frazier gets thrown out there, and they're all fantastic running backs, and they deserve the discussions that are being had about them. But I think a running back that's kind of being slept on heading into the 2026 season is Texas A&M's Ruben Owens. Obviously, Le'Veon Moss was supposed to be the bell cow for them. Ruben Owens ended up leading their team in rushing yards last season with 600 rushing yards, had 5.4 yards per carry. I think he is going to be a very, very solid option for Texas A&M this year, especially with the loss of Colin Klein, especially with Marcel Reed taking another step forward. If you don't have a strong running game to fall back on, your offense typically doesn't succeed. I think Ruben Owens offers a massive opportunity for the Aggies.
Apparently there's audio latency. I don't know what to do about that in the middle of the stream. There's no setting where I can change that.
Was it like delayed or something?
Yeah, it means like the words and the audio is not matching my mouth. Someone said it looks like we're ventriloquist dummies. I'm blaming this on Jay Will not being here.
YouTube.
Actually, he's had a tough day. I'm blaming it on YouTube. I've given him a tough time today. It's not his fault. You know who people are sleeping on?
Who are people sleeping on?
Jordan Faison, the wide receiver at Notre Dame. And for a multitude of reasons. I didn't realize until today that this guy just now quit lacrosse. You know, it was obviously a storyline about him during the national title. Just now. This is his first offseason where he did not play lacrosse. He's been playing lacrosse the last 2 years in college. So we're not spending time developing as a wide receiver, something that he needs to do. But here's the other thing that I want to point out. Notre Dame's obviously going to be without their down-to-down efficiency plays the last, 2.5 years, where, hey, it's 2nd and 10. We got to make sure we're back in the 3rd and 5. It's okay if we just hand the ball back off to Jeremiah Love. He's probably going to get 6 yards. Now there's going to be a lot of mental gymnastics about, hey, do we throw a screen to Faison? Do we get an efficiency play outside of the box with the quote-unquote extension of the run game? That's where Jordan Faison is going to take a leap, I think, this year. I'm not saying this dude's going to win a Biletnikoff, Kirby, but we've gone for like 600 yards last year with their lead receiver and yardage and receptions-wise. I think this guy's going to go for 65-plus catches this year, 65-plus touches this year, because there's workload to be dispersed, and I don't think it's going to be shared at the backfield. Someone else is going to have to get the ball.
Yeah. No, I mean, we've talked about there is kind of a select few names we always discuss when bringing up college football wide receivers. It's Jeremiah Smith. It's Cam Coleman. Guys like that get thrown in there. Faison is very rarely brought up in that. So you're right. I think he is being slept on, and he's a solid option and has been for Notre Dame for the better part of 2 seasons now. So him coming into this 2026 season could be excellent for them. Another team that I'm putting on the sleeper, the Cal Golden Bears. I think that this team
they got lots of shouts today on Twitter.
I don't have them necessarily as national title contenders. I think winning the ACC might be a stretch. But I think this is a very, very good team that's not getting enough attention. I think hiring Tosh Lupoy in the offseason was very good. It's going to bring some stability to that defense. They retained JKS, which Sagapolutele. Sagapolutele.
Is that how it's pronounced?
Is the pronunciation, yes.
Well, that's on me. One more time.
Sagapolutele.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll lock that in.
It's tough. I agree it's tough. They don't have necessarily a grinder of an ACC schedule. They open the season with UCLA. That'll be a tough one. At Syracuse, then they have Wagner, Clemson, at UNLV, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, at SMU, NC State, Virginia, Stanford, Pittsburgh. No Miami in there. No Louisville. Like, not the top-tier teams that you would typically expect that are going to give you problems. I think Cal is going to be a very fun team to watch this year.
Louisville gets a perennial shout. In they don't get talked enough about. I have to remind everyone over and over again, they actually have the most wins in the ACC the last 3 years.
Yep.
More than anybody else. More than Miami, more than Clemson, more than all of them.
Checks out.
Louisville. So, yeah, they are offense slept on in these discussions. Tennessee was mentioned today by Michael Bratton of the SEC show. That SEC podcast is what that's called, right?
I believe so, yes.
So, yeah, he hopped up in the mentions and said Tennessee. I personally think, and look, I'm a big Tennessee Josh Heupel defender. I think Tennessee's being properly doubted this year. I think they're being properly slept on. First-year starting quarterback, most likely a true freshman. First-year defensive coordinator. Also, like, find me the defensive firepower.
Yeah, I think it's I think people kind of look at Tennessee and go
8-4 would be good.
The range is 7-5 to 9-3 is kind of where you expect it to fall, which I don't think that's sleeping on Tennessee.
Yeah, I don't think that's hating on them. I don't think that's sleeping on them. I think that's proper expectations for what Tennessee's going to do this year.
I think if Tennessee went 10-2 this season, a lot of Tennessee fans would be surprised.
I think if Tennessee went 10-2 this year, Josh Heupel would be my vote for Coach of the Year.
That's fair too.
All the things, first-year DC, first-year starting quarterback, yes. You go 10-2, you are Coach of the Year.
They certainly have an uphill battle to success this season. But I don't know if it's going to last that long. I think that if one of whoever gets a starting job this year provides you some security, 2027 might be a good window for you.
You got more? I got more.
That's all I got.
Deuce Alexander got shouts on Twitter today, the wide receiver at Ole Miss. I think he went for 700 yards last year at Ole Miss. In his first year there, came over from Wake Forest. He's from right down the road, Dawgs County High School. Great football player, great route runner, great at the point, tremendous. And his workload, talking about workload with Jordan Faison, his workload quadrupled. Stribling gone, the transfer from Penn State gone, the tight end that started for him last year gone, Caleb Odom back. But it's like Caleb Odom and Deuce Alexander, Caden Lee gone to Missouri. It's like Deuce Alexander and Caleb Odom, Trinidad, and Keewan. Let's go win 10 games in this conference.
Which is funny because for as much as Ole Miss lost from a season ago, you'd think they would be talking about the pieces that came back. And obviously Trinidad and Keewan are the two names you hear. But Deuce Alexander is not a name that's mentioned in the, hey, yeah, by the way, this guy is also back from last year's team. It's very much like, well, it's going to be the Keewan and Trinidad show in Oxford.
I think we're really going to find out how much people paid attention to actual tape. It's going to sound goofy. Preseason all SEC voting from the media, I highly doubt Deuce Alexander's mentioned when he should be.
Probably not, yeah.
He's probably going to be – I might vote him first team all SEC preseason. Because how many guys can you go into the season and go, that guy's going to get a rack? I think that guy's going to get a rack.
One.
Who you got?
Cam Coleman off the top of my head. I need to see a list of
them
all. But
I would too. And we'll have it on the ballot. But I think this guy's going to go for a rack.
Yeah.
He's so far and away the one at that place too. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think he's being slept on. Stay at Ole Miss. Will Eccles, slept on by me. I was the one that said David Stone, nobody on Ole Miss's – we were doing schedule talk, I think.
Right.
I said no one on Ole Miss's roster defensively can hold weight to David Stone. Wrong. Will Eccles can. Will Eccles is a damn good football player. And he's in year 3 out there at Ole Miss. So, yeah, he's not talked about enough. He's a great defensive tackle. And having a game record at defensive tackle can really, really alleviate all other roster deficiencies on that side of the football. Cal and Kentucky got a lot of shouts. You mentioned Cal.
Yeah.
People mentioned Kentucky. A lot of Will Stein belief. Going out there. Also want to give a shout out to Coach Dan Casey, not only for the chalk app, but he went up to Lexington and spent like 3 days with Will Stein and that whole entire staff. Did like a 25-minute documentary, the ins and outs of Kentucky football. Is really, really good insight.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate when you are in a conference where there are so many title contenders or conference contenders that Kentucky's not going to be competing for SEC championships this year, but they will probably be a much better team than they were in the last 2 years under Mark Stoops, and that's worth noting, something that's worth talking about. So you're right. I feel like Will Stein and Kentucky are kind of going under the radar right now, especially with the momentum that they've picked up on the trail.
I wonder how many people in the chat right now know the starting quarterback in Kentucky.
Let's see if they can name it. We're on too much of a delay.
Yeah, it's Kenny Minchie.
Yeah.
The Notre Dame transfer. So, who has 27 career attempts, by the way, but might be a dude. Might be like one of these, holy hell, that guy's playing good right now at Kentucky. You know what I mean? Might be one of those
Kentucky
situations.
always seems to have one of those.
Let's do coaching tiers, Kirby.
Let's do them.
Let's do this. All right. some first-year football coaches, Will Stein included, out there at Kentucky. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to put them into 4 tiers. Here are the tiers. Tier number 1, that guy might be a champ. That guy might win a championship at some point in his tenure at this new spot. Number 2, might be decent. Now, however you want to clarify decent, you can clarify decent. I think some of these programs, decency is totally different. You know what I mean? Like decency at LSU is totally different than decency at Kentucky. I think that speaks for itself.
And I don't know if decent is ever acceptable at LSU. Like I would say
Fair point.
I would say Brian Kelly was a decent head coach for LSU.
Fair point. Might fail is category 3.
Yeah.
Obviously. Category 4 is that job's impossible. I don't know who could ever win there. That job's impossible. All right. Let's start with Kyle Whittingham. Obviously, this job is not impossible up there at Michigan. What tier would you rank Kyle Whittingham in?
I put Kyle Whittingham, and let me preface this. When we say might be a champ, does this include conference championships?
No.
Okay. I'm going to put Kyle Whittingham in the might be a champ category. But he's like the very last one of these where I can say, like, he might be a champ. Just because we've seen Michigan implement all of these resources before. They've gotten a lot of talent there. Kyle Whittingham was a very, very good coach when he was at Utah, and there's no denying that he had less resources doing so. I don't know if the adage of like, oh, he succeeded here with less resources, giving him more resources will only lead to more success. We've seen that before, and it doesn't always work out. Brian Kelly's a perfect example of that, but I would not be shocked if I woke up one day and Kyle Whittingham and the Michigan Wolverines were champions.
Look, I put him in the kind of will be decent category. Like I don't think it's going to be a failure. But I also think he was kind of brought in to be a stabilizer. I don't think he's the long-term future of Michigan Wolverine football. This guy's 66 years old, Kirby. I think that's often. I mean, he looks young. He's in great shape. I know Pete Thamel's article or whoever the puff piece was on him basically says he's in the best shape of his life. He feels like he's in a newfound, life here in Michigan. He's got new energy, all this good stuff. Hell, rode into the recruiting weekend this weekend on a Harley. Like, I know he's got all the newfound energy in the world. But here's the deal. We're 66 years old, Kirby, and we know for the next 2 years at least, we're probably tied to Bryce Underwood.
Yes.
And look, I got some takes. I got some tweets. They're out there in the history and the timeline. I've obviously bought into the Bryce Underwood thing at least once. I'm not here anymore. All right. I don't know over the next 2 years if we're going to be national championship good at quarterback. Do you think that?
Probably not. No.
Probably. We got a long way to go. We got a long way to go before we believe this guy can go win 4 playoff games in a row or a conference championship and then 3. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think we're a long way from that. And if we're tied to 2 years we're going to be 60 going into 69 before we're freed up. You see what I'm saying?
No, I mean it's.
So I think this was the right hire to stabilize the program in Lord knows a time period where they need it. They need a stable father. This is what this is, and I think it's going to be decent. I don't envision us winning a national championship in the next 5 years.
That's honestly a very fair take, and I think that's kind of what I guess tripped me up is like. I know he's going to be decent. Mm-hmm. He might be a champion. Though. Yeah, that's why I put him in there.
He's 1.5 tier.
Yeah,
he's like in this. I know you're going to be good, but are you going to be great? We don't know that. And by the way, should it be noted that they spent a lot of money on the quarterback, so maybe that's why they're not as good as they were everywhere else. Mm-hmm. Like they're not championship good at wide receiver. They just lost Justice Haynes. I know the freshman's really, really good. Savion Hyder's great. I know that's supposed to be, an elite back, but are they good enough everywhere else? I don't think so right now. Got a long way to go. So there we go. James Franklin, where you got him?
I'm putting James Franklin in the might be decent category.
Yeah.
Because we saw James Franklin have a high-profile program for a decade. It was more than a decade, I believe. Mm-hmm. Had all the resources, had all the opportunities, and just could not get over the hump, even when you came close. And I think that going to Virginia Tech, there's no denying that it's probably a smaller market. There's a ton of momentum there right now, and I think he's going to revitalize that program and make them conference champions. I think that there's a world where James Franklin and Virginia Tech Hokies are conference champions. I just can't wrap my head around the fact that he's going to win national titles with this program.
Kirby, the floor at Penn State, it became 10-2. the floor and the ceiling, it felt like, right? They were tied. Boom. We're going 10-2. We're going to lose to Penn State or Ohio State, and we're going to lose to Michigan. Every year, that's fine. It's all good. And that floor and that tolerance for that floor wore thin at Penn State, not quickly. It took a decade for that floor to run thin. The floor of 8-4 is coming to Va Tech soon. I don't know if it's going to be this year,
right,
but it's going to be very, very soon. The new floor for James Franklin is 8-4. And I don't think James Franklin's planting roots at Va Tech. I think James Franklin's going to prove that James Franklin needs to be hired at a bigger school again, whether it be like going 8-4 floor and then boom, there's that 10-2 season. They won the ACC. Now he's back at a big school.
So you think he's going to try to Vandy this thing?
I think we got.
Look what I did to this program.
I think we got 5 years at Va Tech. We're going to return it back to its Va Tech glory days.
How old is James Franklin?
James Franklin, I'm going to bet James Franklin is 51 years old.
He is 54.
Yeah,
that's about right.
We got another 7-year deal for $145 million at a big school. It is somewhere down that road, and I think it's going to happen. I think this dude is a consistently good football coach, and I think consistently good at Va Tech will lead to 8-4 floors very, very soon. Lane Kiffin better be a champ.
This one's
better be a champ.
Might be a champ is the tier he's going in.
If he doesn't win a title in 3 years, it's a disappointment.
Yeah.
That's the only guy on this list we could put that in.
If he's not in the national title within 3 years, it's a disappointment. That's what I'll say.
Yeah.
You don't have to. If you go to the title in 27 and you don't win, I don't think people are going to go, boy, this Lane Kiffin thing sure hasn't worked out. But no, you're right. Like, you have to consistently be competing for national titles at LSU, or they will very quickly show you the door. To their credit, they've never sat on their hands with the firing, like, oh, well, he's getting us right to 10-2. Like, what more can you want? Like, if you're 9-3, 10-2, you got to go, bro. So
yeah,
he might be a champ. That's a tier he belongs in.
Matt Campbell?
I'm putting this one in might fail.
Okay.
I think that Matt Campbell did great things for Iowa State. I think that he kind of made a program that, let's be honest, for a long time was a doormat for other programs, made them irrelevant. But the most of the Matt Campbell lore is built on like 2 or 3 really solid seasons there, and the rest of it's like we're gonna go 7-6 this year. We're gonna go 5-7. We might pop an 8-4. Like outside of the 9-3 season in 2020 and the 11-3 season in 2024, it's all a bunch of 8-5, 7-6, 4-8, couple of 9-3s in there. Like, it's good at Iowa State. It's not great.
That's why the take should be he will be decent, therefore it will be a failure.
Well, that's
because decency is not the standard at Penn State anymore. They just fired a football coach that was standard 10-2. So if it was okay at Iowa State if we were 7-5, as long as 9-3 was around the corner. It's not okay at Penn State if we're perpetually 8-4.
Correct.
If 10-2 is around the corner. No, they just fired a guy that the floor was 10-2 and a national title was never around the corner, so they fired him. That means the pressure for Campbell is extremely high to actually win and become a champ. And I don't think it's going to happen. Do you?
No, I don't believe so.
So again, like if I think he's going to be good. I mean, hell, I think he's a good football coach. He's on the wall. Good football coaches they're the things that I pick up from them don't go on the wall if I think they're a bad guy or a bad football coach. I think he's good. I think great is the new standard at Penn State. And that was the statement they made last year when they fired a good football coach.
Definitely.
So, yeah, like, will be decent means you probably will be a failure. Decency is not okay at Penn State anymore. That was the standard that they set. I thought Iowa State was the type of job for him if that's what we're going to be.
Right.
You know what I mean? If we're going to be a good football coach, we should plant roots at a good program, not a program expecting to be great.
Yeah, and I mean, it's certainly a promotion for you. I certainly understand.
It's a non-turndownable.
Yeah,
for
you're
him.
climbing the ladder, but I don't think Penn State's ever going to be better than 10-2 under Matt Campbell. That's a playoff team to his credit, but I don't know. I just don't believe in it.
Let's have some stones thrown at us. Ryan Silverfield.
This
1,
is
2, 3.
The job's impossible.
Yeah. Why do you think the job's impossible?
Because you are in the best way to put it, a relatively medium to small fish in a pond where there's 8 to 9 other massive fish, and anytime food is thrown in or there's an opportunity to eat, the big dogs get it first, and you're never going to get above that weight class unless someone just pours tons of money into you.
And to continue the fish analogy, you've decided to be a brim in a pond with a bunch of largemouth bass. That's they have stated that this is what they are. They don't care to be a have in football. They have made a decision. This is the words of their athletic director, that they can be competitive in basketball. They can be competitive nationally in baseball and basketball. So that's what they're going to compete in. That's what they're going to pour their resources into, which you and I were talking about before the show. Maybe the job isn't impossible as long as there's a guy to go into that place and make them understand that football is paramount. Football will change your outcomes as a university. Football will change your life as a university. I think this is what Kirk Cinetti oftentimes gets overlooked on. He's a great football coach, but he also made an entire administration department that for their entire existence has prioritized basketball to understand, hey, football will change things around here. Football will invigorate every person that has ever graduated here while also simultaneously making people want to come here. If somebody can invigorate that booster base into understanding that, which I don't think is that hard of a concept. In fact, I think it kind of is the history of athletic administrations. Because there's Tyson money there. There's Walmart money there. Jerry Jones played football at Arkansas. There is resources. There are resources in Little Rock, Arkansas. If they can do it in Bloomington, Indiana, they can do it in Little Rock, Arkansas. And I know I've said that's a dangerous thing to state that,
right.
Hey, I don't want Wake Forest fans thinking that. I don't want, Fresno State fans thinking this. I do think it is, however, possible with Tyson Nugget money. I mean, hell, I've eaten enough Dino Nuggets to buy a D tackle. I know that.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible if the right amount of resources is allocated, if the right head coach comes on.
You got to be a guy.
Right.
You got to be the guy. I mean, hell, you got to be more likable than Coach Cal up there, Cal Perry, right? You got to fight for the basketball money for the new power forward.
Yeah,
it can't go there. It's got to come here. That's hard to do.
So back to the tier, I think the situation Ryan Silverfield is in right now, in the way things go, it's an impossible job. Yeah. If you are consistently 6-6 there, maybe 7-5, and my God, we went 8-4, you're going to do good. But it's an impossible job to succeed at.
I thought he left the easiest job in mid-major football at Memphis to take on one of the hardest jobs in Power 4. That's what I feel. Because the schedule we play at Arkansas, the lack of resources that we have relative to every other competitor that we have, and all as opposed to, wait a minute, I've got 5x the amount of money everybody else has in my conference. Which, by the way, check into Memphis spending. They have it. They have it at Memphis. They do not have it football-wise at Arkansas. There might be a change, though. Maybe this is the guy. I don't think that's the case right now. You got anything on Jimmy Rogers? It's the Iowa State head coach, by the way, for the fans in the chat that don't know who Jimmy Rogers is.
Yeah, this is a might fail to me.
Yeah. I mean, were we successful at our last stop? We were 6-6 last year at Washington State and then got this job.
Yeah, I mean, now Washington State had some fun moments. They were exciting for a while.
Yeah, it gave Ole Miss a sweat.
Yeah, at one point in time, and I think the 24 season they had a pretty decent record at the start. But yeah, no, I don't know where taking. Like, I get that you've got Power 4 resources now. You've got from that aspect, it is a promotion for you. But I don't know what anyone expects out of Jimmy Rogers at Iowa State.
And
Matt Campbell was.
Do they have a roster?
That's a great question.
Matt Campbell took 53 of their players?
Matt Campbell basically said the Iowa State roster is coming with me to Penn State. So yeah, I don't know what it's going to look like there in Iowa State. So I have it as a might fail.
Oh man, you know who we left off this list? Chad Morris. Chad Morris will be decent.
I think
Chad Morris is
yes.
going to be a good football coach. I think it's going to work, especially year one out there. Does he get another year of the quarterback?
I believe so.
I think
I don't know with eligibility.
That kid might have redshirted. Oh, I'm not worried about eligibility. I'm worried about the draft taking that kid.
Okay, that's fair.
You know what I mean?
Right.
How about Colin Klein? I think he's gonna be decent.
Yeah, I have this as it might be decent. I think Kansas State is a solid program. I think that Colin Klein, the last time Kansas State was good, Colin Klein was the quarterback there. So that kind of speaks to what that program's been going through right now. Look, he did a lot of good things for Texas A&M's offense. He brings a lot of stability to the program. I think he is someone who deeply cares about that program. It's his alma mater. He wants to succeed there. He wants to continue his legacy there. This is an important role for Colin Klein. I think that he will be decent in this role. That said, I think there are limitations to what Kansas State will be.
I think if anybody can invigorate that fan base into getting back into caring about football at its highest rates, or even at a higher, just a smidgen higher, it would be a legend. It would be arguably one of the best players to ever play there.
Yep.
You know, Will Stein. I think he's going to be decent.
Might be decent.
Yeah, I think he's going to be decent. I think he wants to plant roots there, too. He's from Kentucky. Now, he played at Louisville, but I don't think the Louisville job's coming open anytime soon.
Probably not, no.
Unless Jeff Brom goes to the NFL. There's not a college job in the world that Jeff Brom would take, I don't think. He played at Louisville, by the way.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to think if there's anything.
I think the hard part, just like Arkansas, is getting them to care enough about football, because they care about basketball. But basketball's kind of down right now for them, right?
Well, it's also like
it's shaky for two basketball coaches. This new coach is kind of like up and down.
Yeah, but we're also talking about a program that's not like doesn't have deep pockets or an untapped booster market. Yeah, Arkansas's got the opportunity to get a lot of money. I don't think Kentucky has a ceiling for this. Like, I don't think Kentucky, if they woke up one day and said, you know what, we're going to do everything we can to spend, they're not going to acquire a $30 million roster.
They might be able to spend $30 million like Auburn did, but probably won't be filled with 5 stars.
But it won't be sustainable either.
Yeah, that's probably a good point. Hot take. Pat Fitzgerald might fail. Pat Fitzgerald might fail at Michigan State. Look, I know it was Northwestern, but I think the national media around the narrative around Pat Fitzgerald's tenure at Northwestern was like, I feel like made him out to be some like coaching guru, like he did all these amazing things at Northwestern. He won 52% of his games. I saw it today. He had 3 10-win seasons in 17 years, I think, if my memory serves me correctly. And I looked at the last 2. They were in 2017 and 2015. Kirby was 1-2 against ranked opponents.
Yeah.
In those 10-win seasons. It's like, was that because Pat Fitzgerald was the next Bill Belichick, or was that because the schedule broke in their favor? And again, not to me. I'm just saying I don't know if it's going to be like, holy hell, Michigan State's back.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think that's. But I don't know if that's what you want. Like, I don't think Michigan State fans are waking up being like, oh, we got Pat Fitzgerald. The Mark D'Antonio era is back.
By the way, I forgot to mention this. Not to pile on. He won 1 game in his last year at Northwestern. Mm-hmm. Do you know how many Ryan Braun won first year?
3.
8. 8. So were we? You know what I'm saying?
That's fair. I mean, there is certainly a possibility that this one.
David Braun, by the way. Ryan Braun would be the left fielder for the Brewers. Football brain.
It's all right.
Yeah, it happens. Around here every once in a while. What about Pete Golden?
Pete Golding, I have might be decent.
Yeah,
I don't think that Ole Miss is a championship role. I think last year was your best opportunity to win a national championship. I don't think Pete Golding is
a hot start though.
He looks great. Yeah, we'll see.
Here's my thing. I presume over the next 3 years we take a not sizable step back, but a noticeable step back offensively. Like, Are we going to be the best offense in college football? Probably not.
No.
We lost a lot from a offensive brainstem on that side of the football, which means we have to take a massive leap defensively.
Defense.
Pete Golding's going to have to become, and I know he's a really, really good defensive coordinator, but for them to win national championships, in my opinion, at Ole Miss now under Pete Golding, they're going to have to field a top 10 defense at some point. Is that fair?
That's not unfair. And I don't think that's good.
Is that doable?
I don't know. I mean,
I know he's great schematically. I know he's a great teacher. Lord knows if you see the clips of him talking ball, great. Defensive savant.
Here's why I'm saying
But
Pete
top
Golding,
10 is hard to do.
Well, not only that. Here's why I'm saying Pete Golding might be decent. We watched an Ole Miss team that had the best quarterback in the playoff. Mm-hmm. I think and Fernando Mendoza was great. He was efficient. Trinidad Chambers was making things happen that no other quarterback in that tournament could have done.
Yeah.
And they won 2 games out of it.
Narrowly.
One of them was against a G5 team. The other was against Georgia, which is a great win. It was a close win. The other one they lost. Like, you saw what an incredible Heisman caliber quarterback could have done for that program, and it still wasn't enough. I don't think that you're going to just magically have a Trinidad Chambers glowing trees again.
I think John Summerall might be a champ, and that's probably inappropriate to say 3 hours into what's supposed to be the local hour.
I'm gonna put him at might be decent right now.
Yeah. I think that place can win, obviously. But here's the caveat. If John Summerall is going to win a national title, I think he might have to do it in the next 24 months because I don't think those coordinators are going to stay around forever.
No, and that's kind of my thing.
That's pressure. That's a lot of pressurized time windows, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, that program at its peak can certainly compete for national championships. That program also peaked almost 20 years ago. Like, we're getting to a point where it's like, how different is the college football landscape for us to keep holding Florida up on this pedestal and being like, no, it's an incredible program, I promise. Like, Florida's a great program, but the idea that all it is just get the right driver behind the wheel and it's a turnkey operation to win a national title. I don't know. I'm going to put John Summerall's might be decent right now.
All right, last one before we toss to the local. Alex Golish.
Might be decent.
Is decent enough at Auburn?
Maybe.
I don't think it is. Their track record has not shown that decent is okay. They fired Gus. Gus was decent. They fired him. See ya. And it's been downhill since. I think if you're perpetually 8-4 at Auburn, eventually they'll get tired of you and they'll fire you.
Yeah, I think I would say like Alex Golish being decent is a 9-3 to 10-2, and every now and then will be 8-4. Like, that's decent. I don't think that you're going to get fired from not from the crap that you've gone through the last half decade. We have to remember, Gus Malzahn got fired because Auburn fans watched a national championship victory in 2010, went to the national championship victory in 2013, and were this close to being in the playoff in 2017. Like, they were living in an Auburn era that was very, very good to them. This next Auburn era in the last decade to them has not been, we should be competing for national titles. I know there's some fans believe that, and at its peak Auburn can, but I don't know if that's a baseline expectation for the next guy that comes up to the plate.
That's fair. All right, let's head to the local hour. We got a whole another hour. We're going to do it, too. See you on the other side.
Welcome into Talk the Dog, the show where we find a bone to pick and a take to give. These are not hot takes. These is dog takes. Can I talk that dog? What's up? You like that? You really like that? Let's shut up and grab some tape.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? We are back for another hour here on the Film Guy Network, and it is our local hour. We're going to talk that dog for the next hour. We got a loaded one, Sleepers UGA edition. We also have Dangerous editions. I like this segment today. We're going to tell you additions on this roster that are both going to be dangerous for the opponent and potentially dangerous for your own future of your roster. Who should feel confident versus UGA? We're going to scare you a little bit. I'm going to scare you a little bit there. Also, how could the schedule get a little bit easier? Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you like and subscribe and rate, review, and all that good stuff. Miss any portion of tonight's broadcast, it is made readily available. However, wherever you get your podcast. Again, make sure you hit that thumbs up button, firing off in the chat. Let's do this Sleepers Edition Georgia version. Kirby, do you want this 1-5 or 5-1?
1-5.
You want this 1-5?
Yeah.
You get what you asked for. Number one, Zayden Walker. Zayden Walker is a sleeper because even elite, top of the line Georgia football analysts such as ourselves do not talk about this guy enough. We do not talk about Zayden Walker enough. I think Zayden Walker, they might dust off a little bit of that Jalen Walker game plan every once in a while this year for Zayden, especially on third down. Let this guy get after it. I talked about it a couple weeks back on this channel, maybe last week. Amaris Williams going down not directly impacted Zayden Walker, meaning like, oh, Zayden's now going to become a jack/defensive end. No, but it did open up we need twitch. We need ability to get home now. We need a third down pass rush package. Zayden's name got vaulted up tremendously because of the Amaris Williams injury.
Yeah, no, I mean, the characteristics are something that you more focus on, especially when you have third and blitz or third and pressure type of situations. Like, I think back to 2021, and this is maybe necessarily a touchy subject, but there was a certain player on Georgia's roster who was the third down sack guy for the first half of the season. he was suspended, and then all of a sudden Channing Tindall explodes out of nowhere. They did not play the same positions, but that twitch and that ability to get home now was undeniable, and that kind of did transition.
And Kirby, if you remember correctly, I think Tennessee's the first game that Adam is unavailable for. I think. I think, and they tried Quay Walker out there at that spot.
Yeah.
And it didn't really work.
Right.
And then they kind of tried to figure out, hey, can Nakobe do this? Mm-hmm. And then it was like, oh, no. We have the answer. It's Channing. And then by Tennessee at home, I think so, one of the home games, maybe Auburn, he has 2.5 sacks in that football game. And it's like, all right, we have the answer now at this spot. So, yeah, I think that definitely could be an opportunity there. Number 2. This guy I think he got improperly, not crapped on, but I don't think we talked enough about him this offseason. I didn't feel at any point last year Zion Branch was a bad football player.
No.
I didn't think at any point it was like, he got grabby a couple of times in the red area, took some PIs, but like in spots where you probably should, you got double moved here in the red zone. Hey, you either PI now or we give up a touchdown.
Right.
So you better PI now. I think I think he played solid football last year.
Yeah,
and with what's going on with Riddle, like, is the Riddle thing just like not going to be talked about?
That has been very quiet, and I don't know.
We talked about it. Is there a suspension? I guarantee you it's one of the first questions asked to Kirby Smart at SC Media Day.
It'll be something.
What's going on there?
It'll be related. It'll be adjacent to that. But yeah, no, I don't know.
Because that was like, hey, is Zion Riddle? Is it going to be Tyreek Boogie Greenback? Like, who's going to play opposite of KJ? Mm-hmm. And I think the sleeper in that group is Zion. I don't think we talk about how quality of a football player he was last year.
Yeah, that's the entire thing that I kind of based my takes around him last year. Of like, anytime 2 was in the lineup for you, you never felt like, oh God, we're gonna the back end is a liability now. Like, obviously, he was not better than Kyron Jones when he was in, or Ja'Cory Thomas. Like, there was a reason where he was on the depth chart, but I never felt like he was a bad player. I feel like he made some good plays that season. I feel like he made some good plays on G-Day. Like, he is a very solid option at safety. So, yeah, I agree.
Number 3, we talk about all the wide receivers. We want to talk about this guy, London Humphreys. And maybe
he's Mr. Underrated.
He's Mr. Underrated. I mean, he's Mr. Fundamental. Mm-hmm. He's Mr. Don't Say Nothing. He's Mr. Donut Game. You know, what is a donut game?
Yeah, you wake up, you eat a donut.
Wake up, eat a donut, play college football. Yeah, I don't think people talk about him. Didn't he have 600 yards last year?
No, I don't think it was that many. I think he probably
450.
I think he got like 3.
Going for 600 this year. You heard it here first.
Wow.
Unless it doesn't happen. How about that? Oh, boy, I'm glad to have that segment back coming up soon. Man, you know,
he had 276 last year.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's not enough. Yeah, no, we're going to have a much bigger year this year. I think we're going to be a staple. They're going to be a known commodity, a solid, rotational, not rotational player, a solid piece of the rotation at all times is London Humphreys this year. Number 4, this is a big if. But if Jordan Hall plays anything like he started to play like before he got hurt last year, oh my God. Because Elijah Griffin's going to take a leap, right? Like, you expect these things to happen. If Jordan Hall comes back, and again, in any form or fashion like he was playing like prior to the injury against Florida, they're going to be more than okay at
D-tackle. Even if he doesn't play up to that standard and is just a solid body for that interior defensive line, I don't think that's getting talked about enough. Like, how big of a deal it is that Jordan Hall might be playing for you at some point this season is something that has gone very much under the radar. It's kind of been hey, Christian Miller's gone. Who's going to replace him? Maybe Valentine can do that. Maybe some other guys can step up here. Like, Jordan Hall is not getting talked about enough just because of who he is. Like, not even if he can play like this. So I agree.
He's number 5 on the local hour. He would be number 1 if this were a Brooks Austin and Kirby explaining the importance of football players to national audiences. Is Drew Bobo.
Yes.
Georgia fans know how good Drew Bobo is now. I feel like you've accepted the fact that the nepotistic take is actually a really, really good football player.
Yeah.
I think you've come to grips with that. I don't know if you fully understand his importance, though, right? Not that he's a good not just that he's a really, really good center, but when he's not there, they're not whole. And again, if you don't know what that looks like, go watch prior to his injury, and then go watch the interior of the offensive linemen and their executions, particularly versus slant stunts and blitzes when he's not in there. they were a little bit lost at times. I think that really showed up against Ole Miss.
Yeah, I mean, there's a specific play there where you're like, that's probably not a mistake Drew Bobo makes. We don't need to lament on that. But no, you're right. I think not having Drew Bobo there was felt very much. And he's a very, very solid center. Is he going to go down as the best center ever played at Georgia football? Maybe not, but he is a incredibly solid starter for Georgia and one that was sorely missed when he was not in the lineup for you.
Who you got?
I got Raylan Wilson as a sleeper for me.
Yeah.
I think that having a fourth-year linebacker, a guy who I think we can all say at moments was playing his best football in 2025, having the extra year of experience is going to be something that matters a lot for that Georgia defense. And it's something that, frankly, isn't getting talked about. And if everyone's kind of looking around like, we lost C.J. Allen, lost a lot of leadership in that room. And yeah, C.J. is certainly more of a vocal leader than Raylan, but having the experience and a guy who's already had, 25 starts under his belt and even more appearances, that's very valuable, and that's going under the radar, in my opinion.
Anybody else?
I got plenty of those.
Come on. Unload the clip on me.
We talked about all last season in the lead up to 2025 how much we're expecting from year 4 under Oscar Delp, how much we expect the experience to shine through, how he's going to kind of be a leader in that room, how he's going to kind of impact the room. And to his credit, Oscar Delp did not have the guys that were in the room a year ago. But Lawson Lucky is not getting enough attention heading into this season. A fourth-year starter in that lineup, in that rotation, is something that is extremely valuable. And I don't think we've ever gone through a film study and talked about Lawson Lucky as if he's not doing enough. I think we can all say, okay, sure, Elias Williams, Caden Prothro, if he's going to play tight end, even though he's probably going to be a slot, Ethan Barbour, the ceilings might be higher for those guys. But Lawson Lucky is an excellent football player that has not been mentioned enough.
A Ben Jones comp in the chat. Robert Underwood played with Ben Jones in high school.
Shout out Ben Jones.
Shout out Ben Jones. Ben Jones, tough SOB. Tough.
This one also pertains to the other tight ends in the room. I feel like when Zachariah Branch left, it was kind of like, well, yeah, we're going to have to find 800 yards of production. Maybe it's in the tight end room this year. So Kobe White-Helton's getting talked about, but I think he's also getting kind of slept on. He is a very talented wide receiver for Georgia. I think he's in store for a big season. He's someone I have on kind of my sleepers list for UGA. Chase Linton is a name that I think we need to talk about as well. We talk about, win now, edge, being able to set things. I like him a lot, and I don't think that is a name that ever gets talked about enough. And frankly, preseason edge defensive ends, they don't get enough love as is unless they are, my God, this guy's going to have 10 sacks this year.
And to be frank, if you're just not absolutely dialed into message boards, patreon.com/BrickSauce or Spring Ball, like you probably don't know that Chase Linton's about to be a dude. It's fair.
All right, so those are all the players that I have as sleepers. I do have 2 aspects that I think are being under the radar for Georgia fans as well. I don't think it's being talked about enough how Georgia is kind of one of the only teams in the conference that matters, that is returning a head coach, an OC, a DC, and their starting quarterback. I think maybe Oklahoma might be the only other one. But that is something that is so huge for your program that is not getting discussed enough. Your head coach is returning. That one's obvious. Mike Bobo was still there. Say what you want about him. There's continuity in that system. Glenn Schumann is returning, even though we talked about it. Everyone was prepping for Glenn Schumann to leave at the end of 2025. And by the way, Gunnar Stockton's coming back. The amount of experience that you have and are going to have start week one, is going to be incredible, and it's going to provide massive advantages early into that season. Maybe not as much come the end of the year when all the bullets are flying and everything's kind of set in place, but that early experience you're going to have is going to be huge. And then finally, I don't think anyone's really acknowledged the travel advantage that Georgia's going to have over Florida this year. Georgia will travel 69 miles to Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Nice. Florida's going to travel 331. That is a exponentially different trip. Now the adverse, Georgia's had to do that when they go to Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville's only like 30 miles from Gainesville. Yeah. So Florida's had the advantage.
This is once in 40-year get back.
Exactly. Yeah. So and again, that might not have any effect on this game. That might not have any effect on Florida being more fatigued. But it is something that I don't think anyone has discussed when, oh, hey, by the way, did you know the cocktail parties in Atlanta this year? It's always like, we need to be a home and home, or the Bend sucks. Like, that's a positive aspect of it that no one's discussing.
Weird take. You know when I knew Oregon was cooked in 2022? When I saw the guys walk in the stadium and start doing the, oh my, look at this stadium. videos with their phone, and they're like doing this, and it's a venue that you're new in,
Right.
You haven't really played in. You're in a professional stadium. You can look at the horses in the chariots, as my coach used to say, instead of having your blinders on. Whereas Georgia football guys go in there, and it's like a second home. There is no venue that they feel more comfortable in outside of Sanford Stadium than that place.
Agreed.
So, yeah, I mean, it is a significant advantage apart from just 69 miles versus 335 or how many it was.
Yeah, I'm trying. When would be the last time Florida played in that venue? It would have to be
The 2020 national or SEC championship game,
Yeah,
right?
I think so.
They didn't play a bowl game in that.
No,
They didn't play in the Peach Bowl. They haven't played in the Chick-fil-A Bowl.
no.
They're the same thing. They haven't played in
I don't think
that stadium since 2020.
I don't think they've done a week one non-con.
Play the
kickoff
ACC
game.
like Tennessee played Syracuse in that stadium. I don't think that's happened.
I don't think there's a player on Florida's roster
that has played in that
that
stadium.
venue. So yeah, you're right. There's a massive advantage there as well.
Yeah. You want to do this dangerous additions segment? I think this is going to be unique.
Yeah, I like this.
All right, so this is how this works, okay? Obviously, there are additions, new players on this roster that are going to be very, very dangerous for Georgia this year. However, I think there are some new additions on this roster that could cause problems in the future. And I think we should start with that, okay? For example, what if Isaiah Canyon is so good, the transfer from Georgia Tech, what if he's so good that he is the X receiver? That he just plays 90% of the snaps. If he's not tapping his helmet, he ain't coming off the field. That's going to be great. That's going to be awesome. It's going to be really, really good. You got a dominant X. But you got a lot of investment into C.J. Wiley.
Yeah.
And I don't think that would be good. You know what I mean? At least not for that stock.
Well, not only
and how do you weigh that?
You
know what I mean?
Not only for the C.J. Wiley stock, for just the long-term position of that. Because we all agree, like, Isaiah Canyon is a one-year thing. Like, he's going to come. You would expect he's going to have a really good 2026, and then he's going to go to the league and make his money. That means that you have to have the development behind that. That means that C.J. Wiley needs to be getting reps so that in 2027 he can be the guy, or he can be the majority of the reps. If it's to a point where Isaiah Canyon is so undeniable that, hey, C.J. Wiley's not getting on the field enough, one, you would put him at risk of transfer, because we know that's a very real fear in college football nowadays. But again, the development's not going to be there. I think we saw from G-Day. C.J. Wiley is a very raw prospect. C.J. Wiley needs as many reps as he can get. If you take that away from him because the other guy's just that undeniable, I get it. Like, it makes sense. Like, you play the best players when you can, but it can be to the detriment of your program in the future.
I got another one. Caden Prothro is going to play wide receiver this year at 6'6", 235 pounds.
Yep.
And he's going to do well. He's going to succeed at that position. And it might be his long-term position in perpetuity. He might just be that. He might be that guy. That could be a problem for the next guy that thinks he's Caden Prothro. You know what I mean? You might have to battle this. Hey, but y'all let him do that. And maybe Kirby and Mike Bobo and Todd Hartley are well established enough to look at that young man and go, well, you ain't Caden Prothro. You know what I mean? Maybe they could, but it'll still be a tough conversation and a tough swallowing of words that the next guy is going to have to receive, because he ain't going to be this.
Yeah, and not to say that Caden Prothro is this, but I'm sure these conversations were had when Brock Bowers left Athens.
Yeah.
Like hey,
you think Oscar walked in the room and was like, hey, why aren't I getting any arrows in the flat?
Maybe. I mean, it very well could be, and I'm not accusing anyone of anything, but like, that's a possibility where someone has such a prolific and profound effect on the offense that people look around and go, oh, this is what that role is. This is where the offense runs through. Like, it was more about the person than the position. So you're absolutely right. Like, people think that Georgia offense runs through the tight ends and they got to wait for that. No. Georgia's offense ran through Brock Bowers for 3 seasons. It wasn't because if Brock Bowers was a running back, the Georgia offense would have run through him.
Yeah.
Like, the idea that, we got to get back to the tight ends, that's not what the offense runs through.
Last one I got, and this one's all me. This is selfish. This is me talking. Ja Jackson's emergence and blossoming as a football prospect might mean Juan Gaston's a guard only this year, and that would be sad. I would not be happy with that, just because I want to watch Juan Gaston play tackle for the next 30 games that he's eligible in college, and then wave him off into the top 10 picks and say, appreciate you. And, hey, it'll be fun watching a 6'10 dude out there. There ain't no doubt about that. But 6'10 tackles to me are kind kind of boring, to be honest with you, because they just get to the spot and then they win, and they're kind of born at the spot in the pass protection game. We'll see how Ja looks in the run game.
I mean,
but watching Juan uncoil his hips on defensive ends is something to behold. So, yeah, that'll make me a little sad, but it'll probably be for the betterment of Georgia.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would consider this a new addition because both of these guys have been on the roster. And it's kind of a two-sided sword here. If Ryan Montgomery emerges as the next guy for Georgia, that is going to come to the detriment of Ryan Puglisi, where you would imagine that if this happens, Pugga is probably going to transfer away, and then you run the risk of him being a guy elsewhere. And then, of course, the evolving conversation of Kirby Smart can't pick the right quarterback. We should have gone with Pugga starts to happen. So, and that happens both ways. If Ryan Puglisi ends up being the guy and Ryan Montgomery ends up going elsewhere, the same exact thing could happen. So that a new emergence of your quarterback, whoever it is next season, could come to the detriment of your program.
I think that if Ryan holds on to quarterback 2, Puglisi that is, then Montgomery's not transferring. But if Montgomery beats out Puglisi, probably going elsewhere.
That's fair.
You know what I mean? So I think that could be dangerous there. Any other ones you got?
Yeah. Here's the one. What if Landon Roldan?
By the way, that's such a sensitive subject we just did.
I know.
So
but
sensitive.
It's a real topic.
And I hate doing it, but now it is a reality.
Well, I think it's
at
also
that position more than any other.
Well, I think you can also talk about without making projection. Like neither of us said who we think should be the guy next year, who we think has the inside track to do so. Like it's a reality of whoever wins that job, the other guy is probably going to be looking elsewhere, and then you run the risk of him succeeding elsewhere and it looking bad at your program. So, yeah. What if Landon Roldan is just such a great slot for you that it comes to the detriment of how Sokovie White-Helton is used, which then becomes a detriment of how you were recruited? Because Sokovie White-Helton, if I'm counter-recruiting Georgia, and Landon Roldan comes out this year and he takes half of Sokovie White-Helton's reps, so we have a Ladd McConkey, Jermaine Burton type scenario going on. Mm-hmm. If I'm counter-recruiting, I go, look what they did to Sokovie White-Helton. This guy was in line to be a major contributor in 2025. They went in the transfer portal and got a different guy. He was in line to be a major contributor, and then another guy beat him out. You don't want to go to Georgia as a high-profile recruit. You'll play with us. That guy sat on the shelf for 3 seasons. I think that's a possibility.
The only pushback I'll give you is that Sokovie was a 3-star as well.
That's fair.
Yeah. I don't know how much of Landon's skill set mirrors Talon's. I think they're similar players. Mm-hmm. I don't think ironically, I think Prothro is going to eat into more playing time of Sokovie's than Landon will.
That makes sense too.
I think Landon, London, and Talon will kind of rotate at that Z position, I think that's kind of the rotation there. And then Prothro and Helton will kind of be totally different skill sets at the slot. Mm-hmm. That's how I envision it this year. So, yeah. How about dangerous additions? Just general first-year players on the roster or first-year starters maybe in a new role that are going to be flat-out dangerous. Like, for example, I think Khalil Barnes is a pro's pro. Mm-hmm. I think he's just going to be really freaking good.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think that he's like there's not much to be said about that other than he is going to probably be a very, very good player for your defense. Like, I don't think there's any like, oh, he's the next Tyke Smith. I don't think there's anything where it's going to be like, he's a bust. I think that's someone where you know what they are when they come in.
Yeah, I think we got a 4th-round draft pick playing in the nickel position for you this year.
Exactly.
I think if he would have came out of Clemson last year, which I think he was draft eligible. I think if he would have came out of Clemson last year as a freshman All-American who started 3 years at Clemson and never came off the field, played a variety of positions, I think he would have been a top 150 selection in the NFL draft. He's on your roster now. That's a dangerous addition for a Georgia group. Who else you got?
This guy is actually an addition, and he could become dangerous for not only defenses but your program. What if Braylon Conley is actually a guy? Like, what if Braylon Conley actually shows you that? Because we liked what we saw from him in Montgomery. Now, granted, that is a minuscule amount of reps for someone who, and again, not exactly live bullets.
Kirby, I don't know if I've told everybody this. That kid had no idea he was going to play in the spring game. They told him day of, they're going to slap a white jersey on you. You're going to go out there and play today.
Exactly.
And then they hunted his ass. They hunted him for the entire second half of that football game.
Dare I say he kind of lock things up.
The talent got him once, but it was I think CJ tried to double move him, and then they put talent in the very next play and just ran by him, and he really didn't even run by him. He kind of high pointed it late back shoulder.
Right.
Yeah.
Like
No, he held his own, by the way, without an arm. Because we're in a no contact jersey, I believe, due to a shoulder thing.
Yeah.
So we couldn't go up with 2. So yeah, I think this is a good shout. He could be, but where? Where are we eating into playing time? Are we taking it from Ellis or DeMello, or are we just getting it?
I think it's more when transfers come in, their window is automatically shorter that they can affect your roster. I don't think DeMello, Jones, and Ellis Robinson ever have to worry about. Maybe you have someone of 3 that can take reps. I think it's more, okay, here's a player who has at most a 2-year impact with us, whereas now, because that player is having a 2-year impact, the player who could have had a 4-year impact with us is transferring away. I think that's where you get the negative aspects of it. And this is my final one. What if Larry Knight is such a home run hit, is such a good coach that you are once again looking for an outside linebackers coach in the in 3 seasons?
We were confusing Braylon Conley with Gentry Williams, by the way. Gentry Williams is the Oklahoma transfer. That's who I was
Braylon Conley is the USC transfer that also balled out on Saturday. On
I was thinking of the other one. First world problems there for Georgia.
Right.
I think corner's plenty good. Tyreek Boogie, speaking of defensive backs, that addition is going to be dangerous. Zakai Helton has an opportunity to play week 1.
Yeah, I think
Georgia.
Zakai Helton will be a very dangerous addition for opposing teams.
You mentioned Zakoby White-Helton in the dangerous additions positively and negatively. I mentioned him here as a first-year addition because this is his first year as an opportunity to be a real member of the rotation. And
he's not a scoutable opponent right now.
No.
He's got 5 reps on tape.
Yeah, and those reps are good luck tackling him. That'll be fun. Have fun with that. There's a 200-pound muscle hamster dip diving and dodging around in the defensive backfield. Good luck with that. Now, I got some young defensive linemen that I want to talk about.
Go ahead.
A.J. Lonan Jr. and Kamari Brooks, their spring game, what they did on G-Day, to me, shows me, okay, they're going to play this year. Those kids are going to get burned. They're going to get after the quarterback. They're going to play this year for the University of Georgia. I want to stop and play a game with you right now, Kirby.
Let's play a game. What game we got?
Guess that dog.
Ooh.
I'm going to give you factoids about this dog, and you buzz in when you think you've got the proper guess.
Okay. Do I get to know the era or anything like that?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to tell you his signing class, all that good stuff.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Let's hear it.
Guess that dog. Kirby, I was a 4-star in the 2017 signing class.
Okay.
And here is the caveat. I signed as a wide receiver out of high school. I'm from Pennsylvania.
Okay.
I picked off Bo Nix versus Auburn in 2020.
Okay.
I was a 7th-round pick. I won the Charlie Trippi Award given to the most versatile football player. This one's going to give it away. This is the last bullet point I got for you. I got slap cooked versus Mississippi State, the 1 rep we dared to play man-to-man coverage against Will Rogers in 2020.
Oh God, I can see it's number 7.
Number 23.
Number 23. Oh no.
Come on, chat.
Is this Mark Webb?
This is indeed Mark Webb. Mark Webb is a 4-star wide receiver out of high school.
I do remember
Because you guys made me watch his tape. Y'all remember that? You tricked me on his tape. It's one of the only former Dogs I didn't get.
I do
Because he's playing wide receiver.
I do kind of remember that being the rumblings of hey, this 4-star wide receiver is actually playing DB now. It's oh, well, he must be terrible. Mark Webb was really good for Georgia in the 2020 season. It's unfortunate he didn't finish his career there. But.
And really the last safety body they played at Star.
Yeah.
Kind of the last one. I wouldn't put Tyreek and or Tyke and Javon Bullard played safety, but they're not safety body types. They're nickel body types. They're 5'11" or sub, 200 pounds or sub. They're not 6'2", 210 pounds like this guy was. He was huge playing nickel.
You know what's funny? I don't remember, aside from the Stetson Bennett.
Sir, J. Will. Mark Webb wore 23, sir. He did not wear 26. Go ahead.
Aside from the Stetson Bennett spin out where he throws to Kyrus Jackson and the Zamir White touchdown early in that game to go up by 14 or 21, I don't remember much at all from that 2020 Auburn game.
Yeah, I mean, to be quite frank with you, searching, I don't mean to demean the man, searching Mark Webb highlights was kind of hard.
That's not unfair.
There's a lot of tackling.
Yeah.
A lot of big plays.
But it's also like.
But we did pick off Bo Nix.
Yeah, I mean, again, I
think Devon Wilson got him in that game too.
I don't think Devon Wilson was still on the roster by that point. I think Devon Wilson was a 2019 and one and done type.
Is that the Notre Dame pick that he got?
Yes.
Oh,
Devon Wilson had a Notre Dame pick.
Yeah,
but no, like, that might be one of the seasons I brush back up on. And I don't go back to that season a lot.
The 2020 season's not worth brushing up on.
That's what I was going to say.
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. It's going to make you sad. When I went back and watched 2020 film, I was just sad. All the empty stadiums. All the weird sad.
Now,
sad.
It is definitely sad. I might have to go rewatch one of the games from that season.
I like that game. We're going to bring that back some more. Who should feel confident versus Georgia in 2026? You know what my answer is?
Who?
No one.
That's fair. I didn't do
No
this.
one should feel confident. I mean, Georgia's going to be favored against everybody on their schedule this year.
What I did was I picked.
At least so right now they are.
Correct.
Go ahead.
I picked like 5 or 6 teams that might have a chance at beating Georgia and put myself in the mind of a fan and thought, why would I be confident?
Same.
Why would I be confident heading to this game as an Oklahoma fan, as an Alabama fan, as an Auburn fan, stuff like that? So, again, you're right. I don't think that anyone outside of maybe Alabama fans heading into a game feel confident against Georgia.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's anyone that really should.
The first team I put on this list, the first thing that came to mind was Oklahoma should feel confident that they can come to Athens and make it a rock fight. Whether or not they can win it, I don't know. But Oklahoma should feel confident coming over here that they're going to put up a good defensive performance.
Well, here's what I put Oklahoma fans. If you're an Oklahoma fan, look at it this way. You know what? We're extremely similar programs. Here's the only difference. Our defense was better at creating turnovers last year, and our quarterback's more explosive. And by the way, we've proven on the road that we can win in big environments. We did it in Tuscaloosa last year. We've done it in other areas. So
losses came at home, right? Ole Miss beat them at home.
Ole Miss
they
beat
lost
them
to Texas in a neutral.
Correct. So stuff like that, where it's like, yeah, we'll be fine, because I think that will be the determining factor of that game: explosives and turnovers, which it is for most games, but especially in that game. So yeah, that's why I would feel confident as an Oklahoma fan.
I said the same thing about Bama. I think Bama's defense should feel really confident in that football game.
Yeah.
In terms of, we aren't going to be the reason we lose today. If we lose today, it's not going to be because we gave up 40 points.
Yeah, and I think also, like, if you're an Alabama fan, you can excuse the back half of that season.
Yeah, just blame it on injuries.
Well, yeah, you can be like, Ty Simpson was injured in the SEC championship. We didn't have half the team now.
Caden Proctor was post-Thanksgiving. You know, a lot going on. A lot going on.
That's crazy. But no, yeah, like you can if you wanted to as an Alabama fan, you could excuse away the losses in that SEC championship and then point to it and be like, well, we played you when we were fully healthy in your stadium and we beat you. Now you have to come to our stadium, a place where you don't win at. You haven't won there in 19 years. Kirby Smart's never won there. Like, there's a lot of reasons if you're an Alabama fan to say, I'm confident heading into this matchup.
For sure.
And by the way, for whatever reason, anytime you play us the first time, our quarterback looks like a Heisman winner. Like Georgia's defense 2 years in a row has single-handedly made Alabama's quarterback look like the Heisman frontrunner.
I'm going to talk about that when we get to how can the schedule be easier. I don't think their quarterback, whoever it is, whether it's Austin Mack or Keelan Russell, I don't think that guy is going to be tested until he comes to Athens in the middle of October. And that's something to be a little worried about. And we'll talk about that here in a little bit.
Okay.
With how to make the schedule easier, how the schedule might be easier than it looks right now. But Bama's defense, to me, will not be a question going into that football game.
Correct.
And that should, anytime you have a great defense, you feel confident. We got a chance. If I'm Ole Miss, I got Trinidad and I got Kiwan, and they're going to feel like Teflon against this football team.
If you're an Ole Miss fan, you have not one. You don't have, hey, Trinidad Chandler's had a great game against you. You have 2 examples last year of Trinidad Chandler's being virtually unstoppable for Georgia's defense. I mean, it took some batted passes at the line and an unfortunate fumble for Georgia to do anything against Trinidad Chandler's offense last year. You've got 120 minutes of this guy will cook Georgia's defense. Now they're playing in your stadium, a place, again, where Kirby Smart has never won, a place that not very long ago you watched your team beat Georgia in that stadium. So if I'm an Ole Miss fan, I'm feeling very confident in that.
Now, I don't know if Dylan Stewart will feel confident, But Dylan Stewart will have really 2 opportunities to close his college career to solidify his top 10 draft status. Georgia and Clemson to close his slate. He ought to be licking his chops to put on good tape against Georgia in his second to last college start.
And not only that, like if I'm a South Carolina fan, it's never an easy out in Columbia. Like it's not usually like that fan base. Whether and credit to them, whether that fan base is 4-5 when you're heading into the stadium or they're undefeated, it's a packed stadium. They're always energetic, and we saw last year. Like it doesn't necessarily matter what that like that South Carolina team had no business giving Alabama the sweater that it did, but my God, it did. So even if you like
Texas A&M. No business. Right. I mean, that was on the road, too.
Right. So even when South Carolina is down, I know we kind of made the joke of, like, this team could look like anything. It's never an easy out in Columbia. Mm-hmm. So you're right. Like, if I'm a South Carolina fan, that's when I'm feeling confident. Is like, that is the epitome of an any given Saturday type football team.
You got any more?
Yeah. If I'm a Florida fan, I think you're coming into the season going, we have a head coach that
clean slate.
That finally matches our talent. We have a head coach that finally is a go-getter, someone who's going to kind of go after your ass. Like, Dan Mullen had a little bit of this, but Dan Mullen had some other deficiencies. Like, we haven't had just the true go-after-you psycho that we need at Florida, and it matches the talent. Because I don't think you've ever walked away the last 3 years as a Florida fan and thought, they're just more talented than us. Maybe in 21. Maybe in 21, maybe in 22. But 23 and 24, you felt, for the most part, adequately matched to a certain degree from a talent standpoint. It was more just coaching that failed you.
Kirby, it's the first time in my career covering the University of Georgia where Florida fans seem to have, without a doubt, unanimous optimism about their football coach. There were a couple of Dan Mullen's better than Kirby Smart takes early on in 2019, but those were wiped from the slate pretty quickly come 2021.
Yeah.
This is the first time I think Florida fans will go into this game not feeling like there's a massive coaching tilt on the sidelines.
Oh, I agree. Yeah, and I think that's why you're coming. And by the way, new venue, weird things can happen. It's not in Jacksonville. You haven't won many games there recently. Like, it could be a exciting matchup. Like, I would feel hopeful and excited and confident as a Florida fan for those reasons heading into that one. What you reading there?
Discord's talking about something. It's 2026. Can we stop going to airports to interview recruits post visits? Okay. How could the schedule get easier?
Well, I've got one more.
Oh yeah, my bad.
If I'm Auburn,
yeah,
I feel confident knowing that our defense has boxed them for a good bit.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're heading into this with an offense that should be way more explosive. I don't think Auburn wins this game. I don't think Auburn is good enough to beat Georgia in Athens. But if I'm an Auburn fan, that is why I would be confident.
I don't think any sane Auburn fan looks at going to Sanford as, yeah, we got this.
No.
Yeah, no, it's been what? How long has it been?
I think the last loss was 2004. 2003, maybe. Let me check.
If your streaks are predating Kirby Smart, you struggle against Georgia.
I mean,
no offense, Mark Rick, no offense, but all these unheard of streaks are all held by Kirby Smart, all of them.
Yeah, no.
So the idea that this is the only one that extends into the Richt era. The Tennessee run doesn't extend into the Richt era. The Florida dominance doesn't extend into the Richt era. This is it.
Well, the Kirby one doesn't extend to the Richt era either.
No, I'm talking about the run of dominance on Tennessee began with Kirby. The run of dominance on Florida began with Kirby.
Oh, okay.
The only one of these dominant trends.
Well, Georgia Tech.
Yeah, but wasn't there some battles late in Rick's era?
I mean, they lost in 2008, and there were a couple of close. 2015 was a close call, but it was pretty much a done deal. Then,
okay.
Mark Richt owned Georgia Tech. There's no denying that.
All right, my bad, Mark. I didn't mean to demean the guy.
Let's see. The last win in Athens, it was 2005, actually. So, yeah.
Is it the George Bush era?
That would be the Bush administration.
Bush administration?
The first.
You ain't beat the Dogs in Athens since Bush administration.
The second Bush administration.
Junior. W.
Correct.
He wasn't a junior. He was W.
He was W.
HW. All right. How could the schedule get easier, Kirby?
So I've got a couple of bullet points. So
As do I.
I was going through. I'll tell how this topic came about. I was going through Georgia's schedule today and kind of going over it, trying to find some easy areas of it, some harder spots, and realized it's not the most difficult of schedules. It's not the most grueling you've ever seen. It's not easy. But for 9 SEC games, it's pretty manageable. So I figured, all right, it's fairly easy. What can we do to make it even easier without interchanging teams? So, like, you can't say, well, just replace Tennessee State with Ohio State. Like, you have to keep the same 12 teams, but change it around to make your schedule even easier. So that was the point of this segment. So what do you have?
What if by October 10th, Bama doesn't have a certified starter? I don't think they're going to be tested before they get to Athens. It's East Carolina.
Well, they're playing in Tuscaloosa this year.
Excuse me. My bad. Before they go to Tuscaloosa. Welcome, Georgia, to Tuscaloosa. East Carolina, at Kentucky, Florida State, South Carolina, at Mississippi State.
Yeah, they should be 5-0 by the time those two teams play. We
might have a starter that started all 6 of those football games, but we don't know if he's battle tested, is what I'm getting at.
Right.
And I would imagine he's going to get a battle in this football game. So that would make things a little bit easier. Now, if he goes through those 6 games completely unblemished, whether it be Austin Mack or Keelan Russell, this point is moot. You know what I mean? If there are no tests, but it doesn't matter because he passed all of the quizzes with flying colors, then the first test isn't going to feel all that bad.
That's
fair. See what I'm getting at? But if we kind of lean on defense, game manage our way through 6 wins, we're a top 10 football team welcoming Georgia into town, and we got to play a top 5 defense.
Could be interesting.
Yeah, that would make those things a lot easier for Georgia.
I'll do you one even differently. What if you just traded and said, all right, Vanderbilt, we're going to travel to you instead, and Alabama's coming to Tuscaloosa. You're still playing as many road games. You're still
coming
playing
to Athens.
Excuse me. Coming to Athens. You're still playing as many road games. You're still playing as many home games. You're just playing Vanderbilt at Vanderbilt instead of Athens, and you're playing Alabama in Athens.
Well, that would be ideal.
That would be very ideal.
I didn't know we could do that with this segment.
I mean, you can do it. You can do whatever you want. It's hypothetical here. I just figured instead, all you couldn't do was change the 12 teams you're playing. You can change the order of it if you want. You can change when you play it, like the time or anything.
Well, give every opponent their top 10 matchup before they play Georgia.
I like it. Let's make that. Yeah.
Let's give them wars before they come.
Give them some multiple overtime sweaters.
Yeah. 8 OTs. Give it to them. Now, Kirby, my Florida expectations have a lot to do with Aaron Philo. They have a lot to do with what I think this offense is going to be. They have a lot to do with Buster Faulkner. And I do not believe what I'm about to say. But what if Buster Faulkner was a Haynes King merchant?
Oh. So, I mean, in this case, he would be. It would make your schedule even easier, and Aaron Philo wouldn't work out, and the offense would be kind of just...
Maybe. I don't believe it to be the case. I think Haynes King was a Buster Faulkner merchant.
That's probably maybe more.
But
true.
A man can hope in this mythical segment of making things easier.
To make it even easier, Buster Faulkner is not the OC that we thought he was.
Yeah.
That's as simple as it needs to be. George, we just talked about the Georgia-Ole Miss game in 2024 a little bit. I want to say, and this is not undermining what Ole Miss did, Ole Miss won that game because the weather conditions put those two teams in situations where you had to run the football, and Georgia was not a good running the football team in 2024. I think that's fair to say. Would you agree?
Mm-hmm.
Let's give that game in Oxford, Mississippi, the same exact weather conditions that it was in 2024. I think that is much more conducive to this Georgia team than it was in 2024.
Oh, yeah,
because,
ground and pound.
Because that team is built on ground and pound, taking care of the football, bleeding out the clock. Essentially what happened to Georgia in 24.
They definitely won't be 103rd in rushing per game this year.
No, God, no.
Do y'all remember that? That happened at Georgia, the University of Georgia. They were 103rd in rushing and won the SEC.
That's the crazy. And then people like scoff. Then people like the audacity of Kirby Smart to say that's his best coaching job.
Yeah.
Remember when he was on Josh Payton's like, yeah, 24 was our best coaching job to that point because of what we were able to accomplish. And it was like, you went 10-2 and lost in the first round. What are you talking about, best coaching job? You're an idiot. Kirby Smart was like, bro, did you see the roster that they had going. And then obviously you point to the 103rd in rushing, and it's that's Mike Bobo's fault. It's Kirby Smart for hiring Mike Bobo. So there's ways around it to make it Kirby Smart's fault. But no, you're right. The fact that they had the 103rd ranked rushing offense in 24 and managed to do all that. That said, I think if you made it as much of a downpour, as much of a monsoon this year, that is way more conducive to Georgia's offense than it is Ole Miss.
Kirby, I think you catch Ole Miss November 7th. My memory serves me.
I can confirm that.
I think you catch Ole Miss late in the season.
Correct, late in the season.
That's so ideal, in my opinion. I don't think, and Ole Miss fans will rightfully correct me if I'm wrong here, I don't think Ole Miss is as deep as they were last year. I think Ole Miss is far more star-dependent this year than they were last. Which means catching them in November, they might have sustained one or two too many injuries. You know what I mean? Like they can't deal with Will Eccles going down as well as Georgia could Elijah Griffin going down. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah.
And catching that game November 7th increases the odds that their depth is impacted by that point. I think it'll be a really good team early on.
So that part's already easy enough for them. Then you don't need to change it. Right?
No, I'm not changing. I didn't change anything in my segment. I did all hypotheticals like this one. South Carolina gets way easier if they've got 4 losses by that point. Whether or not it's sold out and rocking, it don't matter. They might have a football coach on the sideline.
I think that game gets easier if Shane Beamer's fired.
Yeah.
And it has, like, if Shane Beamer's like, I'm coaching for my job here, here's the last hurrah.
These guys are dead in the water. Everything's already gone. Hell, the agent's already talking to Lenoris and Dylan about opting out. Like that's how bad it's gotten. This game gets insurmountably easier if that's the case.
If you get to a point, and that's because it is, I believe it is the last SEC game of the year. Yeah, it's the second to last week of the season. It's the last SEC game you're going to play in. If you get to a point in that season where the South Carolina Gamecocks have already been like, you know what, let's just see if we can beat Clemson. Let's just hope we can beat Clemson for the 3rd year in a row in Death Valley, which that alone is a wild streak, but that's the hope now. So you're right. I think that is kind of where we're hoping things go. Make Oklahoma a night game. There it is. I
just make it.
No more.
Slot it.
Yeah, I'm not going to change. Now. I think that's a good place to play them. I think week 4, before either of those teams have really had to struggle and strain to play anyone, make that a night game. Make John Mateer play under the lights in Stanford Stadium. Maybe make it a blackout. Ooh. But, yeah, I think that's how you can make that game even easier.
Hell, maybe wear the white jerseys.
They'll do that against Arkansas.
Do the white helmets.
I'll tell you right now. I was wrong about black jerseys in 2024.
You can guarantee they're going unis, alternate unis against Arkansas.
They are going white uniforms against Arkansas. Because they did the glory thing, so they've already got the obligation. Like, they're going to have to do it, and they're going to do it in a game where it doesn't really matter, and they're doing it in a game where you can afford to be like, oh, look at our uniforms and everything. They're going to do it against Arkansas. Kirby wants to get that out of the way early. He's going to say, all right, we're going to go up to Fayetteville and play this game at noon, and we're going to wear our white helmets.
What was Shane Beamer's record with a broken foot?
I don't know how long his foot was broken, but it probably wasn't great.
That could help out a little bit. He kicks another bench, maybe shatters his fibula.
I would just love to know how you didn't just destroy your because I would imagine it's Shane Beamer, so he's probably barefoot.
I swear, nothing will make you feel dumber as a man than hurting yourself in a rage.
Yeah, I can thankfully say I've never done that.
You never punched the wall?
Oh, I have. There's a hole in my bedroom door at home.
Yeah, but never gotten hurt.
No, it's I don't even.
Nothing makes you feel dumber. You dislocate a finger.
It makes you mad. It makes you even more mad too. But you're in
yeah,
pain.
but you're mad because you're dumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, if I'm gonna punch something to break it, I'm making sure I'm not gonna hurt myself on it.
Smart man. Play game.
Let's do it.
Give it to me.
This might be tough for you because it's before your time. But
oh no,
what play do you think of when you hear the name Todd Gurley? There's a lot of them.
The first kickoff return he had for a touchdown. I've never seen a man that big run that fast.
Buffalo.
Yeah.
I was in the stands for that game.
The gait on him, just pulling away from him.
Yeah, that was
because doesn't he get hit at the 20?
Yeah.
And one leg stomp out of it and then get back up to full speed.
Yeah, he kind of brushes off a tackle and then gets to the left sideline. and then kind of does I don't want to say like hesitate, like a dead leg to finish it, but does like a hesitation where he's going to cut in, but ends up just staying on the sideline. It was a very impressive.
Isn't there a hurdle against Tennessee on like a 7-yard run that everybody?
Oh, it's like a 23-yard. That's the 2014 Tennessee.
That's truck toss into the boundary, isn't it?
Yes, that's the 2014 Tennessee. I actually have a signed photo of that by him. So, yeah, no, he had some incredible moments.
There's probably some ones I'm forgetting. Oh, the entire freshman SEC championship game that he plays in.
Oh, dude.
He is so obviously the best football player on the field at 18 years old.
No
It's
kidding.
insane.
I mean, that was when it was like, oh, man, like
I think he gets 30 carries in that football game.
he got a lot.
He's like 30 for 220 or something like that.
This was, to show you how long ago it was, this was anytime there was a freshman that was doing anything, they got Herschel Walker comps. Like Nick Chubb now everyone gets the Nick, he's a baby Chubb. He reminds me of a baby Chubb. It was Herschel Walker. Like Todd Gurley was like, there was the Gershel thing because Keith Marshall was 4 and Todd Gurley was 3. Gershel was a thing because they were getting comped to Herschel Walker together. So
excuse me, 23 for 122 as a true freshman against the national champions.
Yeah, insane.
Probably should have gotten 33 carries in that football game. Looking back at it.
The play I always think of is the 2013 Florida game. Is he's coming back from a sprained ankle. He's clearly not 100%, but he runs a Texas route over the middle, and Florida gets caught in a not Todd Grantham, but Florida gets caught in man coverage, and there is no one behind him, and he catches a Texas route for like 60 yards and a touchdown. Georgia almost blew a 21-point lead in that game too. So
it still blows my mind. This man is only 31 years old.
He is the Derrick Rose of football.
Well, I feel like Derrick got hurt a bunch, and I know Todd had some injuries, but I feel like Todd quit playing because he just wanted to quit. He just didn't want to play anymore.
Well, I mean,
I think the game quit Derrick. You know what I mean? Like Derrick played for the Knicks until he was like older,
right? But I think like from an aspect of this player had so much potential to be one of the greatest of all time and was robbed of that because of injuries.
That's
like,
fair.
That's where they draw the comparison from where Todd Gurley is the Derrick Rose. Like, it wasn't like Derrick Rose injured himself and was like, all right, I'm done.
We feel like we were robbed a little bit.
We were, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched
He's the best back I've ever seen at Georgia. And I know that's like people like Harbor and Nick Chubb love, and I love Nick Chubb too. But Todd Gurley's the best back I've ever seen.
Nick Chubb is a close second, but no, Todd Gurley is my number one. I feel
like Nick also had a little bit more around him than what Todd was doing. Is that fair?
No,
it's not.
Because I watched the 2014 Auburn game recently.
Okay,
I didn't take notes on that one, but that is the Todd Gurley comes back game. Nick Chubb is taking Nick Chubb had like 4 straight 100-yard games as a true freshman in 2014 when that Georgia team was not that great. Like Nick Chubb was special in his own right. So definitely Todd Gurley, I would say, had more dog in him though. All right, we'll do one more. What play do you think of when I tell you the name Kearis Jackson?
The catch against Ohio State in the 2-minute drill. I think they're in empty. He runs like a shallow bender right over the middle of the field against split safeties. And I want to say he does like an acrobatic catch.
It was like a back shoulder.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Huge play. If that play doesn't, I think it's a 3rd and medium, maybe 3rd and long. If that play doesn't happen, I don't think they get the jolt that they need on that last drive. Also, the stones on Stetson Bennett to throw that football. Insane. Perfect timing. The ball is caught right over the spot. So could not have been thrown any better, could not have been ran any better. The bend had to be perfect. You had to get over the outside linebacker, bend it back inside, get inside the safety, catch the football without getting hit. That's the play I remember. But I remember Kearis Jackson for the year he broke his hand, and Kirby Smart talked about him playing scout team wide receiver with a cast on his hand for 6 weeks. That's what I remember. Said he was out there nabbing things with a nub on it. That was cool. That's football. That's Peach County, baby.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
The 2021 touchdown against Florida in that back corner of the end zone. This is after, I believe, the second interception or the second turnover that Florida has caused. That back corner throw where he catches is so impressive.
Not him, but it was Carson Beck. The first moment I noticed Carson Beck was going to be something was mop-up duty. He's rolling right and throws a damn piss missile into the back corner, and Kieras doesn't quite drag his toes, but the ball couldn't have been in a better spot.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
That was the first time I was
That was South Carolina, wasn't it?
I think so. I was like, what? This guy's 6'5", 230 and does that? What is this? And then he tore his ACL. I still think Carson's first-round draft pick if he doesn't blow his elbow out.
In what way?
If he doesn't blow his elbow out, finishes the year at Georgia, he's 28th overall.
You think so?
Kirby, he was a mid-second round pick after blowing his elbow out. Yes. And throwing for 250 yards a game for Miami game managing.
I thought it was a third
round pick. But yeah, I think if Carson doesn't blow his, I would have stood on it. I would have been out here talking about how this guy's an NFL guy.
I don't know. I think you might be doing a little bit of revision history there.
You think so?
Let me just.
Now he did throw 12 interceptions in 2024.
Yeah,
that would have been bad. That would have been hard to connote. But as an NFL guy and as someone who watched all of those 12 interceptions, I mean, 4 of them were tipped passes. Another one was Arian Smith running downfield on a screen pass against Alabama. There goes 5 of the 12. Now we threw 26 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. I would have justified it, is what I'm saying.
That's fair.
I would have sat there and figured out ways to probably rank him ahead of Bo Nix, and then I would have been made to look like an idiot.
I mean, he did throw 12 interceptions in 2025 too, so I guess.
That's what I'm saying. The 2025s. Oh, this year? He threw that many at Miami?
Yep.
Well, hell yeah. I guess we did go 2 games throwing 3 interceptions there against Louisville and SMU. That'll do it.
Yeah, I think that's kind of where people were like.
We threw a foot-long meatball marinara against Indiana, too.
Did.
That'll do it. You got anybody else?
Nah.
You ain't got a single guy?
I mean, I can.
All right, what play comes to mind when I say the name Orson Charles?
He has a really impressive high point play. I can't remember who it's against. It's a road game. It's a night game. It's an incredible high point catch. I'm trying to remember. Maybe it was.
Didn't he mollywop Florida one year?
I mean, he had some good plays. I don't think there was ever this is like early into my football fandom, but I don't remember there ever being an Orson Charles takeover game. I very well could be wrong on that, but
Jonathan said the meatball marinara had Parmesan cheese on it.
Yeah, it was a bad throw.
That bitch was Mike's way, dog.
Oof.
All right, we enjoyed doing it with you guys tonight. We'll be back tomorrow night. If you guys got any film study requests, I'll make Kirby come in during the day, but I'm kind of enjoying this flow we got going on because, man, we're about to ramp it up.
Oh, yes.
Come July. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out. I love you. Bye.